Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Darkest Hour. It's been a while. It's good to have you guys back. It's been a month since we've had an episode. I've been gone, but I'm back. It's good to be back. And tonight we are joined by OnePeg and Hunter Pence. Let's go say hi to the boys. What up, gentlemen? How's it going?
Hello.
We're good to go. We're live. We got cameras working. Audio levels are good. It's been a while since we've had an episode. I think it's been a month, right, Jay?
3 weeks or something, I think.
3 or 4 weeks. Yeah. So I've been traveling for events. We had Gamescom, TwitchCon, Tokyo Game Show, and I've been going back and forth between each place and San Francisco every single trip. I am completely jet lagged out of my ass. I woke up at 3 a.m. today. I was falling asleep waiting to start this podcast, but I have a second wind, so it's all good.
Bro starts working at Iron Mace, flies across the world. Crazy.
Dude, it was zigzagging back and forth, man. It was so much travel. I'm happy to be home. Like I think I was in Tokyo for 15 days. It's good to be sleeping in my own bed. Let's put it that way. But OnePeg, good to see you, sir.
Hey.
As always. Jay, good to see you, sir, as always. Hunter, thank you so much for joining. I know you're a busy man, so thanks for lending us a little bit of your time to talk Dark and Darker.
Honored. So pumped to be here. So thrilled that so much you thought of me. So yeah.
Yeah, dude, I saw you playing. I was like, this motherfucker's playing dad now. Because I remember helping you out at your apartment a long time ago, getting set up for, I believe, a Diablo stream. And before that, you came to the Twitch studio about, I think, 9 or 10 years ago, which is wild. And it was me, you, and Atrioc in the Twitch studio. And I think you were doing like a Hearthstone promotion or something. Yeah, that was good times.
That was kind of like the beginning days of Twitch or whatever. And I was still like, in the prime of my playing. I remember we had like 5,000 people. Y'all taught me we did the Whirlwind deck on Shaman. Yeah.
Damn, you remember the deck. Wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I played a lot of Hearthstone after that.
Whirlwind player, shameless.
I mean, they told me that it wouldn't work. It was my first time ever playing it. And like, yeah, I was a big enhancement shaman back in the day, WoW arenas. So,
okay.
Oh,
all right.
Had to try the Whirlwind tech, and we landed it. We hit someone for like 40 damage or something. It was great.
Yeah, those are good times back when Twitch still had a bit of a soul, right? It's a lot different on the platform now.
Justin was still there. It was a crazy time.
Oh,
yeah, that was the good old days. That was a fun time.
When did you guys start, OnePeg and Jay? When did y'all start streaming?
You got it first, OnePeg.
I have been around since February of 2018, give or take.
Yeah, I've probably been streaming very on and off for like, I don't know, like 8 years or something. Okay. Probably like 2016 is probably when I first started.
But you popped 2 years ago, right?
Yeah. Not actually streaming for like 2 years.
Yeah. And then you've been streaming on and off since I met you, like what, 2015, Hunter?
Yeah, so since then, but I mean, I've never done it like consistent for a long time. I did when I first retired, I did it for a little bit, and then I decided like a happy marriage is more important.
Yeah.
But I had a little window over 2020, 2021. We ran like Magic tournaments and stuff, and I did it like 5 days a week. It was awesome, but I love it. I'm a gamer. Baseball is a game, and and I like games like Dark and Darker where you are constantly working on your skill. Like there's a massive skill gap in this game, in my opinion. I'm not a pro like these guys, but like I have like a lot of hours in this, and it's just like the skill base in this game is super fun for me. The technicalities of it.
Yeah, I agree. And when it comes to gaming, don't worry, sports ball counts, bro. It's all good. Sports ball counts. It's a game. It counts. Yeah, so I want to call this out. I'm pretty sure I saw you streaming Dungeons and Dragons once. Is that correct? Did you play D&D for a bit?
Oh yeah.
That's
we did a couple campaigns. We would do it once a week. So that was freaking awesome. Yeah. So fantasy, like any fantasy show, it's just like I'm all about that. So this is why Dark and Darker just kind of hits me right in the head. It's like everything I love, like swords, bows, crossbows, wizard spells, and like so and I enjoyed Dungeons and Dragons. Are y'all Dungeons and Dragons players? I don't see Jay. I see as like this first person shooter. I could see OnePeg maybe throwing down some dice.
I've done a little D&D.
Let's go.
A little bit.
I am for sure.
I got my
yeah.
barbarian to level 3 once in 8 sessions.
Just when it starts getting good, and then you stop. Come on.
It took 8 sessions to go from level 2 to level 3, bro.
That is not. That's not good.
Who are you?
You know how fucked up that is?
What kind of rules were you playing?
Yeah. What the fuck?
Ultra serious?
I don't know. They were pretty hardcore about it. It was a good campaign, I would say. That was my first and only ever campaign. But.
As long as you had fun, yeah, that's what matters.
Ooh, I did not. I was cringing the whole time. I never RP'd before. Yeah.
You gotta let go. You gotta let go and just let it out.
So there's 6 of us, including the DM, and like the DM and 2 of the players were like super big RPers, and then me and the other 2 players, like they had played for a long time, but they weren't really RPers. So I was in like the weird middle spots.
You were a supporting character.
D&D players, yeah.
Yeah.
And I started smoking weed during that, and that was really bad.
Dude.
I'd be sitting there hella high, and they'd be like RPing crazy, and I was like, dude, what am I doing here?
Yeah, whenever you're smoking and you can't remember your last turn, how are you supposed to fucking RP? I totally hear you.
Yeah, as a level 3 barbarian, my turns were 15 minutes apart, and it was like I rolled the dice, I hit a 1. All right, next, see you in 15 minutes. How are you supposed to play that?
Yeah, that is one of the struggles of D&D for sure. Before we start talking about Dark and Darker, and we obviously will, we have a lot to cover. Actually, we have a Discord Q&A to cover from last week, and a mysterious message that actually came out from SDF today, like 6 hours ago.
Crazy.
We'll read that as well and try to decipher what the hell is going on with that.
Wait, not even you know what he means?
No, I've been gone, dude. I've been gone for 2 weeks. I just got back like 2 days ago. I got back Sunday night. Immediately got back to work Monday. I worked today. I've only been able to play the game. Like, I've played like 3 hours since I got back because I've just been so busy. So I'm gonna be
like the head of PR or something.
Not PR, head of marketing. PR and marketing.
Marketing. Oh, okay.
Much different.
Yeah.
But I'm working on a paid media campaign right now, and there's like an integration that has
like
to take
trailers
place.
And shorts and stuff like that or something.
Think like traditional ads that you would see like on Google or Meta ad networks or Reddit and stuff like that, like GIFs and static images and maybe short trailers, stuff like that. But in order to set that up, you have to actually build out like an attribution partner connection with someone that can actually read the data that is associated with ad clicks. And it's not anything that's interesting for the podcast, but it's a bunch of stuff you have to set up beforehand. That's what I'm working on right now. But OnePeg, obviously, you've been on a couple times before. Everyone knows you. Yeah. You do an amazing job covering pretty much everything Dark and Darker related and Iron Mace related. I'd say you're probably the gold standard in that. So people know you.
Jesus Christ, I still don't know how to take a compliment. But
yeah, it's all right. Take a lap and sit back down. You'll be all right.
That's like the peanut gallery. You help us out a lot, OnePeg. Thank you for all your information.
Yeah, sure. Your info on Iron Mace in the game is always great. Yeah. Hunter, some nerds in chat might not know who you are, so you got to give us an historical rundown. Obviously, you're a very famous baseball player. You were in the MLB for many years. Give us the rundown on that, and more importantly, after that, give us the rundown of your gaming history as well.
So I'm old. I'm 41, so I've been gaming since I was a kid. Nintendo was the first one I remember, the old school, But yeah, baseball, lifelong. I'm a broadcaster currently with the Giants. Also do special assisting a little bit with them as well, but they just switched GMs to my good friend Buster Posey. For any of you Giants fans out there, you'll know about the reference. So yeah, baseball was my life. I got to be on 2 great teams that won the World Series. But gaming has always been like, a background. It's been a huge hobby. It's my main hobby now that I'm done playing, besides, obviously still following baseball. I've played anything, like the games that I've played the most are Magic the Gathering, World of Warcraft, Dark and Darker. I have over 2,000 hours easily within this game. I have killed every single boss.
Damn.
I have hit
Let's
the
go,
highest
dude.
rank, Demigod. My man
is a chat.
I haven't beaten Warlord on High Roller solo yet. I'm a long sorter. So the riposte is tough with the thing. I got to work on that. But I'm a
You play
big
Magic too, man.
yeah, Magic the Gathering. I used to host. Actually, we created like a just like a a content creator tournament over COVID. We called it the Sweatsuit Invitational. We ran it for like over a year, and we had all of the best Magic players. LSV joined us one time, so that was super cool. So I love the gaming world, like World of Warcraft. First person shooters I've never done. Dark and Dark is the first one, and I committed, and I sucked, and I have died over and over and over and over and over, and I continue. And I am too stubborn. So anyway. I was long-winded answer. I love this game, this community. I know these guys. I'm a big fan of them, and I'm an old guy who just loves the game.
Bro, you're not that
That's
old.
awesome.
I'm 38, and I feel like a spring chicken. All right, so relax.
I do feel young. I killed some guy the other day, and he messaged me. He's like, "You're 31 and balding," and I was like, "Actually, if it helps you feel better, I'm 41."
Oh, shit.
All
I still
right.
got the hair, the lettuce.
I gotta say, someone said, "So you're the better Hutch" in chat. I thought that was hilarious.
Oh.
Nice. Oh, damn.
All right, I gotta ask.
God killing all the bosses
damn,
and
that-
shit.
Hunter,
He's
Hunter,
got small hands and no nipples, dude. It's
Damn, crazy.
messed up. It's messed up.
Hunter, what's harder, winning the World Series or soloing Warlord?
Winning, I don't know. Actually, they both take many, many hours. Probably winning series, but it depends.
Oh,
Like,
I hope.
how big is your role? You know, are you just like on the bench? You know, I don't know. It could be easy. For
No,
some
you're in the
guys.
field. You're on the field. You're hitting. You got to
Yeah,
put on the field work.
They both take ridiculous, consistent discipline and work. To be honest, to do it the right way.
Good answer. Absolutely. Well, I hope you figure out
Dark and Darker.
HR Warlord.
I
Well,
think it's
yeah.
easier to get the opportunity to win the World Series is the bigger challenge. Yeah, it's the biggest challenge.
That's
Good
pretty
point.
pretty amazing, yeah. Okay, so you said that you're a longsword guy. Same here. I love that. That's great. Beyond fighter though, are there any other classes that you play? Do you play solos, duos, trios? Do you like PvP? Are you just a dungeon grinder? Like, how do you typically approach the game?
Oh, I love it all, to be honest with you. I mean, PvP is my main thing that I like about it. Like, I'm enjoying the arenas a lot, and like I love the idea of like how we're hunting gear for our arena sets. So I do a little bit of everything. We have a Discord with some homies, and we all just go down. So I'll do solos, duos, trios. I'll do all of it. I play every class, but like I said, I have like close to 500 fame on 2 separate fighters. So
Nice.
Jesus.
Nice.
yeah,
My
and then I
man's
have-
grinding.
Right.
Let's
Like, this
go,
is
dude.
my main hobby. I think of it. It's like constantly. It's like I'm gonna play every day to get a little better, and like I want to keep that skill set. And honestly, it's weird. Like the longsword riposte is very much like hitting a baseball to me. It's like a similar like kind of brain zen that it hits me on. Like mastering the movement and learning how to work with the environment is very, very fun for me. I played every class. Like my first main was wizard. I was terrible.
Damn,
at that.
first main. Wow.
When I was playing it before it became like full access, I was playing it when we'd have like 3 days to play because I followed actually this guy Jonah Vale because he kind of plays a lot of games.
Jonah.
Oh, yeah.
Jonas great.
the,
Yeah.
the Tavern Master, and he's who got me into it. I don't really watch him as much anymore. I still check in because he's not on Dark and Darker much, but now I'm like, this is my thing. I follow a lot of that community, so I played every class, every one of them. But fighter is what I actually was really against fighter for the longest time because I thought they were overpowered until I went on the longsword journey, and then I was like, oh, this is my jam.
Yeah, there's something about longsword and parry riposte that is just the most satisfying thing in the game. There, especially in PvP, landing a nice parry riposte and like a felling axe barb, smacking that bitch in the head twice, watching the barb fall. It's so satisfying. So I'm not surprised that you are into parry riposte with longsword because it is amazing. Jay, OnePeg, you guys have been holding it down, playing this game quite a bit. In I would consider a wipe and patch that not a lot of people are super excited about. Okay, fingers up, excellent. I want to hear the state of the game.
I've been playing
from
Deadlock for like the last 2 weeks.
I know. I was just about to say. I know you've been playing
There's also
Deadlock.
one peg here.
Yeah, you've been playing
I've
Deadlock.
been playing Throne and Liberty, and then I was playing Diablo.
Oh,
That's
I
telling.
just started coming
Yeah.
back to it, man.
So if
That's-
you need some of the details, come to your boy because I've been
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
Dark and Darker,
yeah.
bro.
Okay.
I got-
Hunter, could you
Hey.
let us know like what's up?
Honestly, I will. It's honestly the most balanced I feel the game has been in a while. Rogues might be a little bit down, but they still will cook you. I don't know if they did a secret tech to the wizard. The blink of the wizard. It seems to be a lot more distant because right now in in duos trios, wizard invising someone in is just rolling. And
Really?
it's super hard because the blink's not happening. I'm having a lot more trouble than I used to. It used to be very easy to follow them. So I don't know if there was like how they secretly change things and don't tell you.
Yes.
It feels like Wizards Invis has gotten some secret buff, but in team games they're kind of cooking right now, if you ask me.
Interesting.
But I am a fighter.
I haven't noticed. I just played Wizard for 7 hours. I never noticed, to be honest.
Okay, well,
I'll keep an eye out.
They tracking you just fine.
I wasn't looking. I'll keep an eye out.
Were you having trouble? Were you feeling weak as a wizard right now in team battles?
I've been playing solos pretty much since I came back. So
solo wizard with gears hits hard. Like you're probably destroying people, right?
I'm just trying to do some quests and kill some things. So yeah, I was testing out the new AP.
Oh
really my goal.
Yeah.
All right, so obviously, OnePeg, Jay, you guys haven't been playing much. You guys have been distracted with other games, doing your other shit. What is it about this patch, this wipe, that sort of not necessarily turned you off, but just made you want to explore other games? Like, what do you think is going on with the game that needs turning around? I'm curious because I've been in Japan for fucking 2 weeks. I haven't been able to play or really do much at all.
I was bitching the whole first couple of weeks of the swipe. I think the biggest complaint is that nothing really changed. That's probably it. Like the game more so just felt the same, just kind of like all the character stashes got deleted. It's pretty much it. But yeah, I've been asking myself what's really wrong with it. I can't really come to a straight up answer. I don't know if it's just people getting burnt out or what, to be honest.
Definitely some burnout. I mean, you guys play it for a job pretty much. Other games as well. And whenever you play a game that's, half baked, that has not released significant content, and you're playing 40, 50 hours a week for months and months and months, it's pretty normal for any human being to get a little gassed the fuck out. So I think that's totally normal. But OnePeg, what do you think? I mean, you're a champion of this game. Massive presence in the community. You're a good player. What do you think it is that's, I don't know, that this wipe is missing?
Game sucks, man.
Someone had to say it. Holy crap!
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
No, all right. So, objectively speaking, and I'm not saying this to be mean. It felt a little watered down when it's however many weeks into this wipe already, and we still haven't got the Banshee. The one boss they did add is fun, but in terms of content, it was revamping Ruins with half a dozen new modules, a slight shuffling of whatever they had going on, a couple of new mobs, and the Harpy isn't even a new mob; it's just like a different version of the same mob. And then it's basically the same dungeon crawl with a longer play loop through arguably the one of the two dungeon loops that's actually fun. Because I'm not a Goblin Cave fan. I'll go and play it, but it's not I want to go run there. I would rather play the Crypts loop or I like Frost. Frost is my favorite map, but the loop between Ruins to Crypts to Inferno is 40 fucking minutes. And it's all right, well, if I was a normal guy, getting home from work or whatever, wanting to play that, it's okay, well, let me make dinner and then put my kid to bed. And then, all right, yeah, I got a couple of hours so I can play 2 rounds of Dark and Darker, for me, that just doesn't seem like it's all that rewarding, especially when Ruins a lot of the times ends up just feeling like a waiting room for the real map to start. So, I mean, there's a couple of points of interest, but Ruin still suffers from what it suffered from before, where unless you're doing certain quests or whatever, you can go kill Spectral Knight, or basically you're just waiting for the red door to open so that you can go do the Crypts to Inferno run. Especially now with the AP system being what it is, because you're playing High Roller, you pretty much just avoid everybody on Ruins and then kill a couple of mini bosses on Crypts, and then you go to Inferno for all of your AP points, and then go and kill all the mini bosses there, because each one of those is worth 50 apiece. And then either you kill the boss or you don't, and then you leave. And that's how you get Demigod. And it's just boring. That's it. It's boring.
I mean, I can't really argue with that. I miss the two dungeon system. I actually kind of just wish Ruins was standalone again, but the match was just a little bit longer instead of the old timer that it was on. I used to be a fan of the 3-level system, and now I don't know what it is, but it doesn't do it for me anymore. I like the 1-2. Hunter, what do you think? Yeah, please.
I mean,
yeah.
I was actually, before he went off on this, I was going to ask, because the crypts, if you love the crypts, great, but the way that it is right now, like, Ruins is going to be fun because you're going to run into people, you're going to have those encounters, there's a boss that you can hit, and like, there's a lot of like energy there. You get to crypts and you may see one team, and it's like there's no boss. It's literally the most painful section to get to the boss on the last one. And this is a guy, like, I love PvP and I love bossing. Like, those are the two like big challenges. And like, the fact that the boss isn't just yours, it's like you could get attacked while you're bossing. There's a whole game there. But on Crypts, like that little section of it, it just feels like I'm just like, man, what do I'm literally just beating AI and like not going to see anyone. And even if I do, there's easy outs everywhere. Like, maybe go look for the chocolate muffin and someone's just going to get away. So like that part of it, because I want to get to the big boss at the end. And yes, there needs to be a challenge to get to the Ruins, the Crypts boss, whatever. But I don't think it should be 3 layers to get there. So to me, it's just that, like, Ruins is fun, 3rd level's fun, but it's more fun if there's like more people on the 3rd level. I remember times when there was like literally like 3 teams and triangles and all sorts of decisions you had to make with gates and stuff when you're in the farthest down level, and like watching like wizards and like everyone's like losing a teammate and fucking like that doesn't happen. You see one team maybe and they're like, let's be friends, we've worked too hard to get here.
Yeah, you're right. I miss Crypts PvP, and even in the couple of hours I was able to play today and the hours I was playing before my Japan trip, I was loving Ruins. I still love Ruins. It's one of my favorite maps. It wasn't before. It is now. And going down to Crypts was kind of boring. It was, maybe you'd see a rat, but if you saw the rat, he'd run away. And I'm not talking like a druid. I'm talking like a rogue or something. They'd fuck off and run away. But for the most part, there was barely any PvP. And Crypts PvP was like the gold standard of Dark and Darker for a long time. And you're just not seeing it there anymore. So what do people do? They go to Goblin Caves, and there's a massive bloodbath in the 4 elevator room typically.
Oh, it's a fucking war in there.
It's a war.
Yeah, that shit's fun.
It is fun.
It's fun.
But
that shit's fun when you're running low gear.
Yes, one peg to hit the nail on the head. That's the issue, though, is as soon as you're finishing up fighting a team, you're going to get third-partied. You might be able to pull that off, but you're not going to beat the 4th team.
Okay, I'll interject though. Goblin Caves has one good thing about the map, and that there's always an out. That's why I love it, actually. You can run 8 different ways in every module in Goblin Caves. Up, down, side to side, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can get 3rd and 4th party and 5th party and shit, but compared to like Crypts or Inferno, you have places to go. You know what I mean?
That's true. All right, here's a real question, and I'm sure chat is going to jump on this. Is Druid too OP? Is movement tech with Druid just dumb? Is it too much? Because I feel like a lot of people are really pissed off about Druid. And honestly, when you try to balance the game with like 330 move speed cap, you nerf the hell and buff the hell out of double jump and go back and forth with that, and you try to, I don't know, dictate movement in the game in a certain way, and then you come out with a class that can essentially break. I was gonna like make a Flash reference, no shit, but break the sound barrier is actually perfect and fly across a module, turning into 3 animals along the way. I don't know, that seems not great. And as someone that really likes Druid, it's fun. I think there needs to be some massive changes, like shapeshift mastery. Maybe it's got to go. Maybe they're instant casts, instantaneously going in between forms. I'm gonna throw out some ideas.
That's just Druid though.
I'm gonna throw out some ideas.
What's next? Or take invis off a rogue and then spells out a wizard.
I'm still saying shapeshift, but here's the big thing. What if there was just charges for the animal forms, just like spells? Would that be a good fix? Like each animal form gets 6 charges or something like that? Is that enough? I don't know.
I'd probably kill that class, though, to be fair.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe whenever you sit down, you hit the G key. Maybe you get your charges for shape-shifting forms back faster than you would spells. I don't know.
I mean, maybe a little bit damage on the bear, but in solos, it's by far broken as hell.
Yes,
right?
yes.
But the game is never going to be able to be balanced around solos. In a team
Right.
aspect, like you got to be in with your team, and like you can get cooked very easily doing a lot of this druid stuff, right? So I don't feel them as big a nuisance. In solos, it's oppressive, right? That's just the way it is, because they can just reset infinitely unless you hit some crazy bow shot or whatever. I mean, I play a fighter. I don't know if a wizard can hit a fireball, but that speed on a wizard, they silence you. That seems just ultra oppressive. But in teams, it feels like it feels fine because like as long as you're aware of the bear, and this is coming as a longsword fighter, like I can riposte all of those attacks. I pray they bear me. I just have to watch the druid off of my other people.
I guess. I don't know. Like whenever you see a dirty hippie with a hat on jump off a fucking stairwell, and he turns into a panther that shoots forward, and then he turns into a chicken that triple jumps towards you, and then suddenly he's a giant grizzly bear, and he right clicks once and hits you in the head, and you either die or you're down 90% HP, bro. That sucks.
The bear damage, yes. The bear damage, yes. But a lot of that is your team looking out for each other. Like I, as the fighter, need to like recognize the team concept and like I need to be zoning the druid, right? Because if he comes at me as a panther, I two shot him. If he switches the bear and swings, I can riposte and like I win that. So I win that trade. It becomes once again similar to any team. It's a zoning thing, and it's knowing your positioning and allowing your casters or whatever. So I think that it works well. It is annoying, like let's say you kill the teammates and then he can just scuffle off, and that's going to happen, and you're just like, all right, he's gone.
Yeah,
it's kind of similar with Bard anyway.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Tell you, the mentality of a professional athlete, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
My God.
Exactly.
Robin.
No, I mean you're right though. I mean it is a zoning thing. When bear form gets in your face, obviously you just hit the D key or you fucking move your mouse and you just walk away from the guy, right? It's not that difficult to dodge a bear. But sometimes when the dirty hippie turns into the panther and launches forward and turns into the fucking chicken and he triple jumps towards you, and then he's a bear and you're up against a wall and there's nowhere to go because you're stuck on a stupid torch or something, then you're going to get fucked up. And sure, I know there's a lot going on with that. It's a loaded statement, but still, you can get caught by a bear suddenly teleporting towards you, and it does kind of suck. But at the same time, when you master that movement tech, it's fun as hell. It's so fun playing Druid. It's so satisfying. And that's probably why SDF hasn't nerfed it yet, because he's probably having a good time playing it, right?
He's playing
Druid.
I don't know what he's playing.
A lot. I don't feel like bear is the problem, personally.
Really?
Maybe I'm crazy. I think panther is way more egregious.
That's because you're a wizard.
Well, it's just being able to instantly two-tap a guy. Like, because you decided to sit in chicken form in a corner and, like, there's no way people are going to check for you. You know what I mean? It's like, that's entirely different, I think. But Panther, they just two-shot you.
Panther's too strong,
I'm a
too.
wizard. I don't think silence should be in the game. I'm going to keep saying that until the end of time. Same thing with bear traps.
I agree.
Talking about Cutthroat?
I just don't think... I think silence is pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no disarms. There's no, like, other side of the fence, argument for that.
Can you imagine there was a disarm in the game where you actually dropped your weapon and someone could snatch your fucking Fulgor or something like that?
No, just give me the giant spider poison, so you can't left click me, for fuck's sake. If you can turn off my spells, I should be able to turn off your left click. Right? I think that's what you call balance. But
that's fair.
That is fair.
I think that's a great point, because
that's fair.
I did die to a druid the other day because I didn't have my sword out and he was like ducking at me or whatever. I was going to fight the Wyvern and he just went Panther, and like I don't have time to equip my weapon and swing. So I have to have the like weapon equipment. And same with like if a rogue catches you with sign, like I opened a door and a rogue was like some crazy guy was like literally sitting outside a door. And and I'm cutthroated. I can't sprint, I can't second wind. I literally just opened the door. You're just dead. Yeah, there's no outplay. I guess like the fact that he got to the door without me hearing him. I don't know. I gotta turn my light on.
Someone said someone doesn't realize Panther is silence. I realize that it does. It is too strong, and I think the scaling on Panther right now is way too strong. I was watching Repose play Druid, and I think he two-shot maybe it was a ranger. He literally two-shot the guy with 2 right clicks on Panther.
With Panther?
With Panther.
Yeah.
That's
For
that's
Bear,
not
that
good.
makes sense.
With
Those
Bear,
are-
it makes sense.
Anybody
Yeah.
under anybody under 50% PDR ends up being bad. Like, you getting hit by a Panther hurts real bad. If you're a PDR fighter, PDR cleric, you don't really worry about Panther at all because they don't do any damage. They have no armor pen.
Right. And they're easy to kill. You can kill a Panther if they're not. If they don't switch to
die in
rat.
2 hits. They're made of paper mache. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fine and all, but when you have like full control of a fight, and you know you're gonna get 2-tap, but you know you're gonna 2-tap, like it's not level at all. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I
'Cause
agree.
You just decide when to fight as a druid. But,
Well, gents,
if you're dying as a druid, you're fucking up because like you can just leave.
You can reset forever.
Yeah.
Gents, we got a Discord Q&A, a secret Q&A, apparently, a week ago. SDF just randomly decided to do it in the official Discord. Phantom Banshee on Reddit was nice enough to put together a summary, so I was thinking we could read that, go over the Q&A, and then after that, read his statement that he released today about the future of the game. Sound good to you guys? Let's do it. All right.
I only read like half of it, and I don't remember any of it.
It's a little wild.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well,
Definitely different.
yeah.
Are you talking about the Q&A or the message today? Sorry.
The message.
The message, but
the message. Oh.
yeah, but
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of that. Sorry.
yeah,
the Q&A isn't all that shocking, but
yeah, Q&A
I didn't think.
is solid. You know,
Shocking.
is it okay? Well, we'll talk about the statement because it is a little cryptic and odd. We'll get to that and dig into that here in a minute. But here's the Q&A. First things first, from SDF himself, my English has improved a lot. It is still not good enough, so please understand that misunderstandings may occur. It's all good, SDF. We get it. First question, barb ranged weapon win, and this is something I even talked about a long time ago.
Who asked that?
It wasn't me, I promise. But there are many concerns regarding this. This is the answer, because I want to completely change the paradigm of game combat. However, we have been preparing bolas for a long time. And this is what I said would be the natural range weapon for barbs was bola. So probably not going to do a lot of damage, but it's going to do a big slowdown. Jay's like, fuck ranged weapons, I'm out.
Yeah, I can't believe we're on that topic.
Welcome back. Yeah, imagine like you dropped for a second, you're back. Imagine a dedicated ranged weapon, the bola. Or even if it was just like an active ability on your E key and you're just tossing out bolas and throwing people down. What do you guys think about that? I don't like it.
A bola?
Yeah, if Barb have more ranged options, it scares me. I don't know.
I thought we cured Ebola like a couple of years ago when we had the outbreak. Sorry.
Nice, bro. That was a good one.
My bad.
I mean, we had to nerf Francesca's, am I right?
Yes, absolutely.
They got
you lived through that period. It was disgusting.
It was bad.
I mean, like, yeah, they literally like have infinite health, magic resistance, and it's just like like forever. And you're just like, oh, I guess I'm dead.
Yeah, it's.
And they just gave back the 2 stacks.
They gave back 2 stacks.
But they did reduce the damage a ton.
Right.
So it's literally just a slow. It's like a way to catch.
So how does Bola factor in then? Like, would it be an active ability that's got like a decent cooldown on it? I just wonder what that would be. Because you're goddamn right, people would be bowling and then franny axing, and then at that point they're on you. And it's one hit to the head.
I think it's easy. If they're gonna do that, you just can't have Achilles on axes anymore. Personally.
On frannies.
Because then you can have bolas out and stuff.
Imagine a bola though, right? Like how do you even load that? Like, so they're probably gonna make it where you get like one shot and then you gotta like do some kind of loading, right? They have to be. It has to be pretty handicapped.
Or it's a consumed item that they're throwing, or it's a skill, or
I think it's a skill. I think that's what it would be. And I have not peeked behind the curtain to look at what's going on. And here's a little tidbit for anyone that doesn't know. All of the game information internally is in Korean. Yes, obviously I can copy and paste line by line and like translate stuff, but I don't know what to translate. I don't know where to look because everything is in Hangul. So I just don't bother because it's literally like trying to decipher a massive Bible of a language you don't understand. It's just not worth it. So I don't know what's going on with the game. So before anyone asks, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
Bola plus Achilles, somebody wrote in chat they'd be walking backward then. You
Yeah.
just go toward them.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be too much. But we'll see what happens. Next question. And this is an important question. Have you considered revising or updating the older classes? Answer, this is something I consider every time I try to do a balance patch, but I haven't done it right yet. Giving new abilities to existing classes and replacing or buffing unused abilities is something we're always interested in. That's a great answer. I like that, but we haven't seen it too much. I feel like it's always the same sort of abilities that are tinkered with, but there's still a lot of forgotten stuff that just has been swept under the rug. I mean, would you guys agree?
Sure. Yeah, I would agree. I would say they haven't done a whole lot on that front, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
They've added a couple wizard spells, magic lock. They gave fighters the ability to like.
And then they nerfed it twice.
It's
Nice.
too powerful. OnePeg,
Yeah.
were you asking these questions? Who was asking these questions?
He just opened it up to like they randomly like opened the channel up and just a bunch of people asked. I did ask
It was
like
community.
like yeah, it was just like a community thing in the Discord. I did ask some pointed ones about like Rondel Fighter and stuff, and he ended up nerfing the Rondel Dagger or Weapon Mastery for fighters by 5%. I don't think that did shit, but
Yeah, it didn't really do anything.
Rondel Fighter, as a fighter, I hated that. It is for
yeah.
It's like when you don't have a way to counter something, and I think he mentions that anyway.
Longsword, dude. What are you talking about? You can't longsword the Rondel.
Longsword Chad.
I literally have to bring a shield to fight them, so I have to like swap weapons, and it's the only way.
I've been able to parry the Rondel once on my longsword fighter, and I had to crouch and do the look up to the sky move. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you can riposte is what you call it. I can say riposte. I'm not sure which one it is. You can. Yeah, but it's like
no
you're
idea.
gonna die. You're gonna die
both.
900 like 99 times out of 100.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I did die, but I did get a swing off.
Even with the riposte.
Even with the riposte, the guy got me. All right, let's get back to it. Is there a plan for a more in-depth anti-cheat? There's a lot of ESPers looking at people through walls. Answer. Regarding anti-cheat, it's not easy to tell you in detail because the cheat maker group can get hints. So, okay. We're trying to introduce better methods. In particular, we are trying to create a structure that can handle as many as possible with a small number of people. So, yeah, I mean, anti-cheat is all done in-house, custom stuff made by people that work at Iron Mace. And I met some of those guys, and they are hardcore nerds. They love this eternal battle. They actually enjoy what they do. They love finding the cheaters and squashing them. But the cheaters are like cockroaches, man. They don't die, and they somehow figure out how to survive, and they come back from a new hole in the wall somewhere else, you know? So I feel for those guys. I haven't noticed any like really insane cheats like back in the day. Remember like the super long range melee attacks and whatnot? People will be stabbing you from like 50 feet away. I haven't seen anything like that.
I think the most common ones are those attack speed ones, right? They're swinging super fast. Nowadays.
I don't know. Like how fast you talking?
Talking fucking smack, 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 smack.
Yeah.
Like super fast.
Okay, so that's a hack because I feel like I've had that happen, and I've also gotten hit by a felling axe from, and I didn't know if it was lag or whatever, but like literally a long ways away.
I think the most common ones.
I swung and missed with my longsword, and then immediately got hit by a felling axe in the face. Like I was like, "Pow!" I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not.
That's a hack, right?
Those are like the most common felling barbs and horseman barbs.
Okay.
Yeah. I swear.
Well, I thought I sucked.
You did, and weren't cheating like that
guy. He also states this. Also, we are continuously thinking about ways to reduce cheaters' motivation from a game design perspective before functional defense through anti-cheat. We're sorry we couldn't get it done faster. So when he says reduce cheaters' motivation, there are some like clever ways that developers will cordon off cheaters or punish them or something like that. Like if you get caught cheating, you go into a cheater's queue, for instance, and you only queue up for then on that account with other cheaters. Which is like, there's clever stuff like that. I don't know if Iron Mace is considering doing that, but I would like to see something like that if they could figure it out. Okay. Question: is there any plans to change gear brackets for normals or high roller? I find that there are way more people running gear in normals than high roller. Answer: I have a lot of concerns about gear brackets. I haven't come to a conclusion yet, so it's hard for me to say. I mean, would you guys say that's true? I feel like people just run their real big kits in norms because it's just an easier time. Would you guys? I mean, I know Jay and OnePeg, you guys play a lot of high roller. Do you play a lot of high roller, Hunter?
I do.
Okay, so
I play both.
All right, so playing both, like, how do you feel about that assessment? Do you think that most of the gear, beyond like named items and shit, obviously, is in norms?
So since they got rid of 124s or whatever, it does feel like a lot of times if someone comes in with gear, like I killed a warlock and it had to be RMT gear because it was like best rolls on everything and just a normal, like I was working on the wyvern or whatever. So you will see. I mean, you'll see. I feel like in high roller, I run into people with like less gear a lot more often. Like you run into like really geared people in normals nowadays. Like with the 124 bracket, that's where like a lot of my friends who are pretty casual, they loved that bracket because like they didn't feel bad about losing it. It's not a no gear thing, and they had a lot of fun. So we are definitely missing that in normals, but I also understand why they don't do it.
124 is in the game, by the way. That was for like a week or two. I think they got rid of it.
It's in the game. Yeah.
So what? Okay, well, I guess like it's like once it's out one time, I like think that it's gone. So they brought it back. They got rid of it and brought it back.
Yep. Yeah.
They love messing with people.
Why don't they tell us? Like, just give us a little communication there.
I have said internally many times, like occasionally SDF and Terrence or Grayson will knock it out of the park, and they will explain something very, very well. They will give reasoning, a very rich breakdown of decisions and why they're doing certain things, and then the next patch it'll be, I don't know, a few bullet points of what the changes are, no developer comments, no updates on why they're thinking that way at all. And I don't know why they go back and forth on that. Every time they do one of those really solid breakdowns, I always say, great job, keep doing that, please. That's amazing. That's the exact kind of communication we need. And it just kind of waxes and wanes. So,
it's probably easier said than done, but anyway,
yeah,
I guess. I mean, but I feel like
you could tell us, hey, no 124 bracket, now 124 bracket. Like,
yeah,
true.
OnePeg, what do you think? Are most people bringing their juicy gear to norms? Are you seeing high roller well populated?
I think dudes in norms that want PvP, or people that want PvP, I think tend to go to like the higher GS, like normal lobby, and then if they're trying to like get boss loot, then they're going to HR. Is usually like how it goes.
How's the PvP in HR though? Like, I'm assuming that lobbies are filling up. Are people still sweaty like the old days and like running people down, or is that just not the case anymore?
I've been running like wyvern attempts on Bard with Katie. We're being full corpos. I'm like a corpo in training, trying to get the wyvern dead.
Nice.
Jay's shaking his head.
Need my viola.
Yeah, I don't even care about that. I just want to kill the damn thing.
Hey, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so it's been going well, but every run, 2-3 teams every run.
Okay,
I've seen like, and they have it'll range. It'll be like somebody that's in 230, and then there'll be some dude that's got a couple of uniques on and going ham. So it kind of like runs the gamut, but usually like the deaths end up coming to people that just have insane shit.
Like the wyvern fight is like so fun because there's a lot of battles on the way to the wyvern, or I call it wyvern, but the wyvern, but whatever. Wyvern. It is like it right now because like the Goblin Caves had its moment where it was like the elevator room is super fun, but right now because everyone's farming for that arena gear and some of the best loot is the wyvern. It is like a massive battle. If you like PvP and bossing, it's got both. And I mean, you got to get used to the environment because there's some dangerous jumps and there's some crazy ways to outplay people. And I hated the ice caves until I started fighting wyvern.
Yeah, I
I
love
love
Ice
the
Caves.
Wyvern.
Wyvern's a
Yeah,
badass
Wyvern's
Wyvern's
boss.
such a
Wyvern's
good
fun.
boss.
Yeah, that's
It
well
is
done.
fun.
As a solo fight, it's just it's the best, most engaging fight in the game right now for
Have
sure.
you done it with like Elden Ring boss music though? Because you gotta tap.
I have-
in,
Is that what you need?
Oh,
I did
dude,
it playing.
put
I
on,
did
like,
it playing
Nordic
Pantera.
Viking
Haven't done the
music.
Elden Ring.
close enough. It's like the same vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just at elevate. You know how many is this music in the game messages I got? It's crazy.
Yeah, that's
It
sick.
should be.
It should be. It should be.
Yeah.
I mean, just the fact that you're jumping down to go to the next level. That jump is always fun. And then when you do kill the wyvern, and just the cinema of going up and like looking down at this dead dragon.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
SDF did also mention, I think gear brackets are like a band-aid that was created by interlocking various situations. My original vision was a world where gear brackets weren't needed. For the time being, rather than rushing to address this issue, I will think more deeply with the team about more fundamental issues. And that was attached to the question about norms and high roller gear.
I actually like gear score. I don't know about you guys. I think gear score is a great thing now, personally.
If this game had 150,000 concurrent players, they could have 5 different GS brackets and it wouldn't even be a problem.
Yeah.
The problem with the GS brackets is it just breaks it down into like smaller and smaller subgroups that the population just doesn't support. And that's the issue he's running into, is like the lobbies don't get filled. So I don't know what the answer is there. I don't mind GS. I think it's fine. If we had 10 times the player base, then it'd be better.
Yeah, that's a valid statement. And honestly, I'm with you, Jay, as well. I think it's kind of fun to min-max a 124 kit, or, you know,
Okay, well,
whatever.
that's disgusting.
It's fun. I like it.
I mean, 124 lobbies for me and a lot of my homies. Like I like running high rollers or whatever, but like my casual homies, dude, they loved it. And like some of the like more intense fights were in those 124 lobbies. It was like you have a little bit of decks, you have to make your decisions or whatever. Everyone's got a little bit of something. There's sometimes someone that has really min max, like a rogue with all true, and they're gonna, or a ranger or whatever. But like there's like those lobbies were very full last season. And like the goblin caves were popping off there, like similar. Like it was like some of the most fun gameplay I had. And like whenever you went above that, it was like you were either just completely trampled or completely trampled the other team. So the 124 lobby was like kind of the most balanced, you know, similar to like arena right now, where you don't lose your gear, everyone puts on their best. Like there's a lot of really good 2-2 like that go into game 5. Like it's super fun for me, who just like wants to learn the mechanics.
Yeah, 124 arena on my wizard is fun as shit. I love it.
Yeah.
There is a 124 arena.
Oh yeah.
Is there actually? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, like I would like to know that, but it didn't feel like it. Like I'll queue up with that, and like that one week I was like, I'm just gonna go fight the wyvern, and I got killed by like a crystal sword fighter with like all golds, and I'm like, hey, why am I fighting you? And he's like, well, you know, like you swung at me. I'm like, you shot me, but I was like saying the gear score anyway, but
yeah, crystal sword fighter. Oof.
Ken always says this about 124s. He's like, you kind of have to pick. You know, you can't have everything, so you can't have like the damage, health, and speed. You're picking one of the 3 type of deal.
Exactly.
To make a choice
with 124s, man.
Yeah.
That's probably why it feels so good.
I wish the rest of the game was like that, where it was like you had to like tip the scale in one like direction for your character or another. You couldn't like, because right now it feels like the stats you could just get it all. Yeah, for some classes, yeah.
If you had subclasses, you could address situations like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
If they did it right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the most fun thing in the game right now, for me personally, is duos or trios, and you go in base kit, and it's self-found 0 to hero, and you and your buddy or your buddies just keep on whatever you find, and you just build the kit until you die, and then when you die, you go right back to base kit, squire kit, run it again. That's the most fun. It's super fucking fun. And whenever you do finally get over the 124 gear score and you have a decent kit and you have a massive come up with someone that's bringing in their norms bis, I don't know, there's something about that just feels really nice in the game right now. All right.
You know, I have a idea.
Okay.
For like the whole queue problem.
What you got?
There's only one issue with it, and it's the quest, but they could probably like band-aid it. So there's so many queues because you have to pick the maps, you know. But what if they hit it where like crypts and ruins are in the same pool? You queue it, you don't know what you're gonna get, and then like quests like find barracks B or whatever was also like barracks B / bandit forest or whatever, you know. Because I was thinking about it, because if they add more maps, they're adding more queues, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
Sorry, I
time.
just got an invite from. I got AIDS from my sister in game. My bad. Distracted.
Excuse me? You got AIDS from your sister?
What? I'm sorry.
What the fuck did you
That
just
was
say?
his name. That was his. Not me. That was his
Oh,
name.
I thought you were talking about IRL family shit. I was like, bro, your mic is not muted. Take that call elsewhere.
My bad. My bad. Yeah, they could just package, you know, the maps in, because every time they add a new map, they're going to add like 25 more queues or whatever the number is, right? So
Yeah.
that's just an idea I had.
Yeah, I mean, at some point they're going to have to deal with the whole like rotating map thing, because if they add, you know, the water map or whatever that they're talking about adding, now you got another 3-minute wait on a 4, you know,
Yeah.
area
it's not
round
good.
robin, and it just gets bigger.
And with
Like every
30 more
time.
queues, they're going to split it, and
Yeah.
now we're down to 44 people, you know, per queue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it's kind of kept it where, like, let's say they add another map, only 3 maps are available at times. So like Goblin Caves goes off, and then the water comes in, and there's always only just 3 maps that you can choose from. You might have to wait a little bit longer, but it solves the queue issue.
I don't know. I feel like
The
once
problem with
you.
that is you're removing content, though.
Yes, once you
But
give
But it's not
people
removed, it's
something.
3 minutes.
I meant like if Goblin Caves isn't in it type of deal.
Well, no, it's just like a rotation. Like, so like all 3 maps, let's just say we added water map, right? And then you have ice
Sure.
caves, crypts, Goblin Caves. All right, so for this 3 minutes, then 3 minutes goes up, then water map comes in, ruins goes out.
Oh, I see.
So there's just
yeah.
one map that you can't choose for 3 minutes, so that you have the
I
only
see.
3 queues of each map, but it's just going to be a little bit longer to wait for your exact map, unless you want to queue with a random friend or a random person. Because that addition just makes it so much easier if you want to like hit the right map. Like, let me just take a random teammate.
I wish you could just queue up for whatever map you wanted at any time. I don't know.
But that's the player base issue.
That,
It's
that's
a player-based problem.
Queues
It's
all
a population
over,
problem.
unfortunately.
Yep, that's true. Okay, let's get back to it. Here's a question for the clerics out there.
Or just take ice caves out of the rotation. Yeah, I'll say it. Just leave it.
We just
leave
talked
it
about
as
that. You said you liked the Wyvern.
No. Just like leave it there. You know, have it be a 1 through 3 party queue,
Oh,
separate in the corner.
then on round robin,
you know?
or just go to ice caves whenever.
Yeah, I mean, what do people do? They quest and they farm wyvern. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be fair, that's what I was saying at the beginning of the wipe. That's all. I thought ruins was going to be a separate map, not the 3-layer.
I wish it was. Okay, for the clerics out there, any plans
Although
for?
if you change this map rotation. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Any plans for additional damage spells for cleric to make solo caster more viable? Answer: we have a strong desire to provide more diverse abilities to all existing classes, and we are significantly adjusting our development priorities to focus on class development work like this. Don't you just love to see that? That's a great answer. I personally would like to see rehauls of classes, more skills, more abilities, more interesting builds, more build variety. I think that would help the game tremendously right now. But there's also like several things that would help the game right now and make it not feel as stale as it currently does. But me personally, I want to see classes get tinkered with. I mean, do you guys think that class development should be a top priority right now for the game? Or do you think the devs should be concentrating on something else?
Yes and no, probably. I don't think it'd be a bad thing at all to have, you know, a couple new spells or a couple new skills and shit every wipe. I think that would help a lot. The problem is you have to compete against things like for fighters, sprint second wind, you know.
Right.
That's where everything I think falls apart. How are you going to compete with Phantomize? I guess you already do. There's demon locks and stuff, so I guess it's not too crazy.
Anybody else?
I mean, I think Jay hit the nail on the head with subclasses. Just ideas to build different things is fun. But if you've ever seen UR Toast stream, cleric destroys. It's just like knowing what you're doing and knowing how to build. But a lot of it is just knowing the tech of like what stats you're looking for But like I think what Jay said is like, I want to play a cleric that's a tanky healer. I want to play a cleric that's a fast healer. I want to play a cleric that has a staff and is like a monk or whatever. So having different ways to build, it does kind of exist, but a little more options and like a little more, and that's where like the 124 is like, I take a little bit more speed, I take a little bit more health or whatever. You got to make your decision. That is kind of fun.
Well, that stuff it could be baked into subclassing. So, like, if you want to go faster, maybe you're less tanky. You know, those are the trade-offs of your decision in the subclass or whatever. But
yeah,
that might be very convoluted as well. Very difficult.
Yeah.
At that point.
Okay. What is the plan for Arena? Right now, it's all risk, no reward. Answer: the current Arena is a very, very early stage test version aimed at ensuring that the Arena game cycle guarantees a minimum level of fun, which he definitely has harped on this. He's talked about this before. It is just the bare bones base of Arena. We have confirmed the minimum level of fun and will adjust or further develop various parts to make an Arena that well represents the characteristics of Dark and Darker in the future. Yeah, I mean, like, just out of the gate, base level Arena, pretty fucking fun, right? Like, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, have a blast. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's fun.
And it's only going to get better. Okay, here's a hot button issue with Arena. Mobs, yay or nay? Mobs, do they stay dead in between rounds if you kill them? Do you keep in low-level mobs and get rid of the mini-bosses? Like, what do you guys think is the sweet spot, personally, in your opinion, for Arena?
I mean, I like the suggestion of him saying that they stay dead between rounds. You know, like warlocks always want a room full of shit to like lay onto to like tap them for health. So if you start taking the blood bags away, then it like modifies the course of combat. Like each round subsequently after that, every time like one of the mobs dies, it modifies like what the landscape is like for the next round. So it could become like more interesting over time instead of like having to constantly manipulate like just a horde of skeletons walking around behind you, or like you end up having a Yeti and a shield giant like chasing some asshole around the room. And if they're aggroed on the other guy, you laugh your ass off. But if they're aggroed on you, you just screaming the whole time. Like, why?
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. I also like the suggestion. There's regular mobs, no mini bosses. As you kill them, they stay dead in between rounds, and you can actually strategize if you want to kill them or not, if you want to utilize them or not. Do you want to wipe all the mobs out on your side as soon as round one starts, or do you want to run by them and use them later? I think it does add a little bit to the game, but definitely no Yetis and shit like that. That's too much. No skelly champs, no mini bosses. Like that's too much.
Such a small map too. It's just such a
right.
Yeah.
That one and the one with the Centaur and the Berserker.
The Centaur, Berserker, and the two demon dogs.
That's way too much.
That treasure room.
It's definitely not the most fun, but at the same time, Dark and Darker is about running the environment, so it's tough though. I want to ask about pickpocketing. Is that intended? Because like as a fighter, I go and I'm like splitting up all my arrows and potions because I do have to bring in like stuff to switch to based on who we're fighting against, and like the pickpocketing thing is that that sucks.
Are you gonna pickpocket it in Arena?
You're talking to the guy that does all the pickpocketing.
That is hilarious.
People pickpocket in Arena, like you haven't heard that?
It's like 50 hours of his content.
Well, I know I've actually run into you many times on Perry. Like I have like a very funny memory. Yeah, so you've stolen from me quite a few times. I actually you were asking me for heals one time. I remember this vividly, and like my buddies were like, "No, it's Jalen." I was like, I was gonna give them to you, and you like were like, "If you're not gonna give me heals, I'm gonna steal it." And then I like bonked you, and you're like, "This is Timothy." I was like, and they're like, "No." I was like, I mean, I didn't know.
Hell yeah.
That's hilarious.
Did I get the heals
like
up?
losing your gear that you saved in an arena, is that like intended?
You're saying that they're pickpocketing stuff out of your backpack.
Yeah.
Because you're bringing extra
you're swapping equipment.
Oh, like swapping out a crossbow or something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's scary, bro.
That's
I
fucked
did not
up.
think of that.
Dude's getting his ruby sword.
That's what happens.
Pants stolen from.
That's what happens. I just want to play. I want to play the game, man. I need shit to switch.
If you bring 4 witnesses, you deserve to get pickpocketed. That's all
Amen.
I'm saying.
I don't bring 4 witnesses. I just have a sword and a shield, like plate pants and speed
Not
pants.
anymore.
Like, come on.
Not
Hey, you need
anymore.
to get on. You need to get on an arena and start getting
I'm
after
gonna
it, bro.
start doing
Content.
that.
I just got you. Get ready. It ain't safe out there. It's open.
I know, it's a valid tech. You know, I tried it for memes, but I didn't know you could just yoink the shit like that. That's a good
Yoink
ass
some
idea.
shit and then win the thing and get that.
Oh,
You get to
That's-
keep it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's an
their
overstep for sure. Yeah, that I don't think
Appreciate
that's
that.
by design.
New YouTube video coming up.
There's a new.
Let's go, dude. You're welcome. You know.
That's hilarious.
I'll give you credit, don't worry.
Ooh. Check. How about that, chat? We good to go? We back?
Looking like we're back.
Let me know, chat. My OBS crashed. It just straight up died. I had to restart it. Should be good to go. Recording is back on. Chat, this will be a 2-parter on YouTube, but that's okay. Makes it more exciting, right? Okay. We can resume. We were talking about Druid mobility. It's completely intentional. And then SDF says, having serviced this game for over a year, we have thought a lot about the direction in which PvP and classes should go in various directions. In the future, we plan to design in a way that brings out the strengths of each class a little more. All right, so
Cool.
another buff on sprint inbound. What do you think?
Yep. We're gonna give you an even smaller dagger on fighter.
Listen, we get a small window of sprint. Okay. Like the rest of the time, we just have to fight. We open doors slow. We move slow. Like we don't get away. We have no out. We have 1 second of sprint to catch you and finish the job. Don't let us get that close.
All I need.
Well,
Never need more
you're a
than
wizard,
second.
dude. You look at a fighter and it's like, good. You know,
It depends. If they have a bow, they piss me the fuck off.
True.
bruh. I kill more wizards with shield and just blocking the arcane missile. Like just dance the fireballs.
Good.
The bow, I don't be killing them with that. It's like because they think they have the zap and the arcane missile, and as soon as you just get the shield in their face, that's your window if you get that shot.
Nice to hear a fighter with self-respect. That's what this game needs.
That's
I
funny.
guess. I mean, I've taken a lot of dirt naps.
So say we all, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
indeed.
all have, man.
Indeed. Okay, so next question. Does luck apply to chests opened via Unchained Harmony? That's in the weeds, but answer, this should work. And if it doesn't, it's a bug. But on the other hand, I think it's probably better if it doesn't work because Unchained Harmony is so good. that is such an
that
STF
means they have
answer.
no fucking idea how the luck works. Let's be honest. They've been dodging that question for so long.
Pretty
They
sure
don't
it
fucking
doesn't.
know.
Because I was a bard main for a while. I'm pretty sure it doesn't apply to Unchained
I
Harmony.
wouldn't doubt it.
That's
But I also
slightly
thought that
balanced.
the tracer got changed without them telling us, and you say you didn't notice it.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Iron Mace keeps
I
you
just
guessing.
haven't looked for it. If it was like in patch notes, I'd be looking for it. But
But that's what I'm saying. They didn't say it, but like I'm watching the Invis people come through doors, and they get so much farther than they used to before you see like where they are. Anyway,
maybe.
Here's a good question. When will you add dwarf race? Answer, this is why we haven't removed the ability of the race that carries the risk of pay to win. We will test on the short races by experimenting with goblins first before going to dwarves. We will also
They do not
continue
want
to
dwarves.
be we will also continue to be
Excuse
vigilant
that.
and correct mistakes we make them in the future. I mean, who's playing goblin? Is everyone switching to goblin immediately?
depends.
I mean,
The Loot
feel
Goblin
like
RP isn't to go crazy.
Loot
I
Goblin.
mean, that's why they all have stats, right? So it depends on what the stats are.
Yeah.
All the
Surely
skins
they
have
get move
stats.
speed.
Pickpocket
They're, like,
goblins.
super small. Yeah.
They got luck and speed. That's probably what they'd have.
Ooh, that's actually a good
Yeah.
one.
Trying for minus health though.
Maybe a little bit of minus
that.
health.
I think for the smaller form factor, it's going to have some pretty good penalties. It would have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's BIS, right? Because you're a smaller target.
It's
What if they
the
do
odd
get
job
poison
effect.
hits?
It's the odd
What
job
if you
from
get
Goldeneye
poisoned?
effect.
Get
That's too
poison on the
much.
sword.
That'd be
That's
crazy.
too much. That's
What if
too
you're like
much.
immune to poison? Like that doesn't make sense. Goblins aren't immune to poison.
They're the poisoners.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they can
poison
still
you,
be
but they can
poisoned.
still be poisoned. Yeah.
Longsword Chad Goblin.
Holy shit.
I'm in.
This is
Is
an
it the
interesting.
parallel? enough.
Try hitting a goblin like.
Yeah.
Dude,
You're gonna be
Parapos
dragging
as
the sword on
Goblin
the
sounds
floor.
fun. Yeah. This is an
Goblin's gonna be
interesting.
I'm going.
lot of clanks.
Dragging that shit behind you on the ground.
Okay, so this is an interesting comment that he makes after the dwarf question. That is probably something that has pissed some people off or raised an eyebrow or two. He says, "For your information, I'm not saying pay to win is bad. Games like that exist and are fun in their own way. I'm just saying that I know full well that it's not what you expect from this game." And we got to remember, Iron Mace is in Korea, where in the East, pay to win is commonplace and more often than not is how a game monetizes in the East.
Yeah.
So when he says, "I'm not saying pay to win is bad," it's probably because he and the Korean team are just used to that kind of stuff. But obviously Iron Mace does not want a pay to win game. They want to cater to a Western audience. And Western audiences think pay to win is bad. I think pay to win is very bad. I don't think it's good at all.
I don't think anybody likes that I know of. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, pay to win sucks. Further clarification on pay to win, he says, mention and pin in general chat or the main Dark and Darker Discord. He says, there seems to be a bit of misunderstanding about pay to win, but don't worry too much. Anyway, I'm not that kind of player, and I don't understand why they enjoy it. But I don't deny that those people in games exist. I don't want to badmouth them. Maybe I'm just pretending to be too good. Don't worry, that won't happen in our game. It's
He's
something
got Nexon knocking on his door. That's why.
Yeah.
No, tell us the truth, man.
If something like pay to win happens in this game, criticize us harshly. We will definitely listen to the players. I mean, that you got to respect that. That's a great
I
statement.
respect it.
I love to read that. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Good old SDF. Question: why is solos much more unbalanced than duos trios? Who asked that dumb question? Sorry, but some people there's a saying, there's no dumb questions. That's a dumb question. Classes like Druid have infinite resets, which are the core of the game. It is unfair. Answer: we all know that
Damn
class
right.
balance in a class-based game is impossible, and yes, there should definitely be ways for other classes to counter Druids. More ultimately, I think every class should have enough means to counter every situation in their own way. I think people are always the most frustrated when there is no counter, and that is something we'll be focusing on in future class development. But solos was never supposed to be in the game. The only reason why solos is in the game is because there was a vocal crowd of individuals who said they really wanted it in the game, and they pushed really, really, really hard during the playtest era. So they decided to do it. And that's cool. But when the game was created around trios, when you start putting people in solo queues and you have a game based around trios, 3 people going in together and bouncing around team gameplay, of course balancing solos is going to be ridiculously hard, and it will break as you try to balance solos. It'll break the main game, which is trios. So
I don't even think it's that crazy of an impact. I think it's just how classes work. That's how it works, man.
Yeah.
You get countered and you counter others.
Yeah, people will
rock
say that
scissors.
it's broken. Yeah, people will say that it's broken because they keep getting beat by the class that counters them, and it's like, well, that's what's supposed to happen. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
run
Go-
away, dude. Like,
Go play that class and you'll run into like XYZ.
The same problem.
There's a
Yeah.
barbarian. I can't beat them or whatever, you know?
It's
yeah,
just-
Panther Druid
yeah.
with 45 agility getting shit on by a PDR fighter, and they're saying, "Oh, PDR fighter's broke." Like, no, man, you just made
Which,
a
in my
paper
opinion,
and they
is
counter you.
great. You don't want homogenized because then it's just going to get super boring. If every class is everything that
Yeah.
every other class is, you know?
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
just
Balance
rock,
is
paper,
good.
scissors with more shit. That's all it really is.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
yeah. Okay. Question: thoughts on the current state of Rogue? Rogue is connected.
wait. The problem is when that class beats everybody, which is why nobody likes barbarians or Druid players. Anyways.
Fair. Thoughts on the current state of Rogue? Rogue is connected to many parts of the game, so it is not easy to summarize in one word, but I will say it anyway. And then he goes on to really answer this, the longest answer. I understand that the current state of the game is that pressing the play button is very heavy. It is also a characteristic of the genre, but the penalty for dying is so great that you have to wear a headset and play with full concentration, so entering the dungeon is basically burdensome. Of course, so this is like Q fear.
It's a little critical, for sure.
Well, I mean, he's right in that sometimes certain games queuing up can give people like queue anxiety. Like I remember when I would play ladder on StarCraft 2, I'd be like, fuck, here we go. Here's a goddamn ladder game. Holy shit. If I lose this game, I'm fucked, and I got to play fucking 4 more games to get back to this rank or whatever. And I would get like queue anxiety, ladder anxiety, which is so silly. It's just a fucking stupid game. But it happens. And if people are not pros that are super rich with tens of thousands of gold and they have a little bit of gear fear, I can see what he means by that.
I get it.
But he says, of course, it may not apply to hardcore players, right? In any case, I have plans to improve this across the board. Rogue is a class that is comfortable to choose in the above situation because it has very high survivability due to its fast movement speed, interaction speed, and because of that, it has traditionally had a high pick rate. And when Rogue could inflict explosive damage, it showed a very strong aspect in the game we call landmine due to the nature of the ability granted, and it was not easy for other classes to respond. Also, hyena-like play, that's hilarious, that only searches for the corpses of victims while other players fight is popular these days. Korean players call these crows, and we call it that within our team as well. In short, Rogue is a class optimized for low risk, high return, and has been loved for a long time. The problem is that there's been a lack of various countermeasures for Rogue's various low-risk plays for a long time in other classes. One way would have been to completely rework the Rogue, but since I didn't want to give up some of my vision for the class, I decided it would be better to give it more counterplay against other classes. I know this may be a disappointing answer, but since I didn't have a schedule to focus on those methods right away, I had no choice but to lower Rogue's attack power in order to reduce its pick rate, which led to its current ambiguous position. I hope Rogue will appear in various places in dungeons, like Alien or Spider-Man, climbing walls. Of course, after other classes are given sufficient countermeasures, I also want to see top-tier Rogue players being intelligent in 3v3s. As I said before, I will focus more on structural improvements to dungeons and rules for the time being, as well as the development of classes and combat systems, so we'll try to improve along with them. All right. So what I'm hearing is STF has a vision for Rogue and he's not willing to abandon it outright. So for now, we have to deal with this sort of balance until he can tweak things properly.
Which I've always felt Rogue is perfect in this game because it's like Rogue. You know what I mean? They gotta figure it out.
Yeah. I think Rogue feels good. What were you gonna say, Hunter?
Late game Rogue shits on people.
I mean, go ahead, OnePeg.
No, that's pretty much it. Like once a Rogue gets like really stacked in stuff, you know, they've got like good strength numbers and, you know, some good additional damage on their gear, and they've got either a stiletto or a rondel or something. Like they're 2 and 3 hitting people. So
like if a Rogue just chooses one point attack, and I have to assume they all do, I cannot trade with a Rogue. Like I have to, like they're A, faster than me, and B, I can't, like they can just W key me and like they're just gonna win. Like, right. So it is, and I do know that they have to hit a certain gear level, and there's very, you know, that's usually a really skilled Rogue, but most every Rogue, like he said, high risk or like low risk, high reward, like they can just choose to run away whenever, similar to the Druid to every other class.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. So I don't know. I hate my least favorite time in the whole game, and there's been classes that have been imbalanced, is when landmine rogues just like you're just insta dead everywhere, and everyone was playing it. It's just like super not fun. And like even if you get into like a really good fight with someone, a rogue just would like kill you and end that like really fun fight and kill the other person too for free. Like literally, I watched them just W key me, not even hide. Like literally just...
Man,
no, that's true. I mean, I watch Repose do it to people a lot.
Yep.
But
he's getting shanked in the yard, man.
I don't play rogue, so but and sorry, I'm going to say this because I think it needs to be said. When Wizard was super OP last season, and it was like all Wizards, even though I was getting melted by them a lot, I had so much fun just because the visual of when Wizards are OP is freaking awesome. Like when you're in the Goblin Caves and it's just like, like that was fun.
Yeah,
but
it's satisfying. Yeah,
y'all had infinite spells, and my thoughts.
I know I'm biased, but at least Wizard can die. You know, if you get on them, it's over.
Exactly.
Right.
At least if you hit some bow shots, if you were actually good at the game, or like, you're right.
Yeah.
Wizard can die, and I like that. I love that about you, Jay.
Yep.
Well, speaking of Wizards, this question asks, excuse me, any plans for bigger variety of gear for Wizards? Hats, weapons, etc.
I hope so.
We're always
Hopefully.
interested in adding more weapons and armor, but I also feel that it's not easy to create different personalities for the various pieces of equipment that are being added. Different personalities for the various pieces of equipment. What does that mean?
I think he's talking about like, attack animations and, uniquities. Like the lantern shield has a lantern on it. And it's got that riposte mechanic and stuff. So I think that that's what he means.
Okay, that makes sense. Back to Arena. Any plans to tweak Arena? Mob density, looting, incentive for winning, ranked, etc. And then he gives a breakdown of his thoughts. What is wrong with my throat? I still have a damaged...
Clear the throat goat, Soma.
Dude, I still have a damaged vocal cord.
Where did you go? Where did you get it back from?
I was in Tokyo. But I have a damaged vocal cord, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with my throat. The arena I wanted to create was one where the play in each round would affect the next round. I thought about it deeply in the beginning, but I came to the conclusion that thinking deeply about it without a playable field would likely end up as a desk theory. We don't really like to develop only in theory without playing it ourselves when developing, and we prefer to develop it while playing. That's why we decided to first create a playable arena that guarantees a minimum level of fun. In the future, we will think deeply about the form in which changes between rounds affect the entire game, like the original vision, and try various tests. I understand that you feel annoyed by monsters, but at least in my thoughts so far, monsters should exist as variables. However, I don't think they should have too much of an effect or become inconvenient like they are now. That's good. Regarding monsters, the first thing I want to experiment with is permanent death of monsters that leads to the next round. I had various concerns regarding looting. What should you get? What should it mean? Should it affect the current game, etc.? We haven't finished researching these things yet, and we'll be looking at more ideas. For now, we will focus on MMR-based matchmaking and rank system. My concern regarding this is whether we should separate pre-made teams and random matchmaking teams for more accurate MMR. We all know that it is good to separate them, but we all know that it is not good to have a split matchmaking pool. Please check the updates that will be coming up gradually regarding this. In a perfect world with a fuckload of players, yes, split the randoms and the pre-mades. You can't do that right now, though. It's just not possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you considered...
Easy fix on that is just have it be priority. Like if you are random, you should try to get matched with a random team,
Yeah.
Maybe not just completely split them, but yeah.
Question, have you considered removing map rotation? Answer, it's always been my wish, but it's not the time yet. I have some ideas for this, and I'm going to experiment with them. I'll answer them when someone asks about 3-layer maps. I love how he's like, I'll wait until someone maybe brings up a question about 3-layer maps. Until then, let's just...
And they did.
And they did. And
it's huge.
Yes, that is probably one of the most interesting answers later on. Question, when is Rogue going to add parkour or new perks? Answer, replace with answer Rogue above. Okay, there we go.
What else you guys need, bro? Greedy ass Rogue players. You can fly, you can open all the chests, disarm all the traps, put fucking caltrops down. Like, what else do you need, man?
Nerf Rogue, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thank God.
Question, is class attached perks been worked on yet? Like Crush being built into Barbarian? Answer, things like passives like that are not even on the table yet. This is something I've been talking about for like a year. I feel like every class should have a class feature, like Crush just being built into Barbarian. I think that'd be sick. Or
you could bake in 10% damage on daggers into rogues and nerf the Rondel dagger so that rogues get the damage bonus that they needed to get out of the fucking dagger as an inherent class benefit, and then you don't have to worry about PDR bards running around Rondel shanking everybody.
Cooking. This man's cooking. Yeah.
Just saying. Saying.
Yeah. I like it. But yeah, I mean, think about how each class could be. Like, maybe, let's see here. What's a good example? Wizards. When Wizard hits the G key to sit down, the class passive, the class trait could be they just recover spells faster than any other class when they sit. They get like a, not quite meditate, but they get like an always on, like half meditate or something like that. That could be great. I would love to see stuff like that. But it's not even on the table yet. Here's a good question. How are you feeling about Sorcerer right now? When do you think it will be playable? Answer, slow but steady progress. I saw a character casting both hands separately the day before yesterday. I hope to release a work in progress version within this season, but at the latest I hope to start next season. That's gonna be fun.
So we'll see him next
Skyrim
season.
style. It's probably let's be
Next
honest.
season is what that means.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll see him
This
next
game
season.
is a lot of times like pat your head, rub your belly, and like archers
do that.
melee, and then you're casting 2 spells at once. Like,
Well, it's like kind of like imagine Skyrim. Remember Skyrim back in the day? You could cook up.
Yeah.
And then obviously I think the interview with you, OnePeg, even mentioned like meta magic combined them into like Frostfire.
Yeah, I ended up saying that, and he went, "Oh, like," and then Terry yelled at me, "Stop giving him ideas."
Yeah, I mean, it sounds cool. I mean, sorcerers, they have the meta magic thing, right? And then D&D, that's sort of their shtick.
That'd be sick.
It'd be fucking awesome. Yeah, Frostfire. You hit someone, with an ice bolt fireball combo, and it roots them in place as they're being ticked down with the damage over time. It doesn't sound OP at all. Sounds great.
No, balance.
sounds nice.
As long as it hits druid.
This is a very important thing.
What if we gave it a 3-second disarm though? You know what I mean? At the same time.
Fine.
And blink.
For
sure.
Oh, it's broken. Oh, sorry.
Or you just get frostbite applied, and every time
they can fly.
You get frostbite applied, and it permanently takes down your movement speed cap. That could be cool.
Yeah.
Levitate.
Levitate would be cool eventually. But there's one important thing he added to the sorcerer question. He said, "However, I am tired of releasing something in a low quality state just to meet a schedule. So we will now take a more relaxed stance regarding the schedule. Regardless of the passage of time, we will continue to break pottery that we do not like." All right, so we're not going to see half-assed bard, half-assed warlock stuff anymore, which I didn't really mind that much. It was just exciting to be able to play the new class, but some people didn't like that. Some people didn't like that. They didn't understand that the first iteration of Bard was the first iteration. So what do people say? They just bitch and complain in general chat and say this class sucks. Because
even though it had an experimental banner across the
exactly. Exactly. It literally says experimental. And people are like, this class sucks. What the fuck? Well,
I mean, I feel like the turnaround time for getting Druid like kind of finalized is pretty fast. I think they at least, when they're releasing stuff now, it seems like it's a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, it was like ready. A month and a half from first version to release.
Yeah, I mean, like they haven't really made that many modifications. Like they changed the damage on the forms a little bit, and then they ended up giving like healing scaling on like 2 of the heals. So yeah, for the most part, it's still the same kit, and they shrunk the height of the hedge.
Druid actually came out like finished.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they really haven't changed that much. It's just been like stat changes or like model sizes for like the hedgerow and. Spell counts for the tree and like shit like that. Wasn't that bad.
I want more spells for Druid, and I want 10 spell Druid. That's what I want. I think it'd be fun. A little support, a little bit of damage. I don't know. I like the animal forms, but I want 10 spell.
How the fuck are you not gonna get Boomkin form?
That'd be sick. That'd be sick.
Give us like a caster form.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Dreamfire, I guess.
That's the only damaging one. Yeah, there needs to be more. I mean, I guess you can count the treant, but you need more than that. All right, so this is a heavy question. Hey, SDF and team, thanks for giving us this Q&A. The current meta of Dad feels a lot like Chase and Kite, Kite and Chase meta. Range is supreme no matter what class you are. However, that makes me feel like melee-based classes struggle to keep up with their range counterparts. It's hard to close the gap without getting spaced by doors and max move speed builds. By the way, next map, can we have a map with no doors at all? I would love that. That'd be amazing. Does the IM team recognize this? Is there anything IM is working on to try and make the PvP combat of the game more dimensional than the current meta? Answer. I am very aware of this and have a big concern about it. In particular, chasing enemies with bare hands and then watching them get further and further away as soon as you pull out your weapon is not a good experience. That is what I have screamed at this game more than anything. Like, fine, kill me. Fine, pickpocket me. Fine, interrupt my boss run. But god damn it, when I'm giving you a fucking haircut with my sword and you're just out of reach as you're barehanded. God damn it, that is so fucking frustrating. For me, anyway. I can't stand it. In particular, things like this make our game harder in areas that are not visible, making it harder for new players to learn how to play the game well. It may be better for everyone to have a very fast movement speed, or it may be better to have a fixed movement speed for each role, like in modern class-based games. When you asked me about bunny hopping before, I misunderstood it and answered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now I know
Yeah.
exactly what it is, and it is not intended to reduce the movement speed penalty by jumping. This needs to be fixed. Good. Great. We plan to experiment with the movement speed meta in the future to determine the direction. I will share more information when it becomes clear. All right.
Okay, I just gotta say, if you're gonna take out bunny hopping, you gotta like give us something. Is all.
Yeah, he would need to reduce, I think, the movement speed penalty on like warming up a cast or something. Because they had nerfed it at one point in time. Or like, readying a bow or whatever. Same kind of thing. Because a lot of times that's the only way that you end up keeping a gap on somebody. Is they're like trying to run you down when you're, hitting it with a
If you
frostbow
didn't
or
have
something.
bee hopping right now, range class.
Yeah,
if the shit.
Yeah, if you
To be honest with you.
like a wizard is going to get run down without spamming B hop right now.
Skill
Which it's
expression
whatever.
huge.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree with the skill expression piece. I just think that there's other ways to I guess I look at it like Counter-Strike, where it's like there was bunny hopping in that too, but you didn't like it would still like chip off damage as you made like subsequent jumps. In this game, it's like you get two and you kind of get to keep like 80% of the movement on that second one. So and it's not so much that like guys are hitting spacebar at the right time, because the vast majority of them are cheating by like just throwing jump on their mouse wheel and just spinning it when they're moving through the air.
That's not cheating, bro. That's how it's worked.
No, I'm not even saying it's
years.
I'm not even saying it's cheating. I'm just saying it's like, there's like the real way of doing it where you're like, I'm a fucking gamer, and then there's like the mouse wheel thing, which is like you're doing it but you're cheesing. It's whatever.
Yeah.
So you're a mouse wheeler.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jay, let's see your keyboard
What
map.
do you guys think? I'm a fucking noob? Hello?
That's
You ever
funny.
played Counter-Strike before? It's only been out for more before I was born.
Really? Oh God.
No,
I'm not hating.
28.
I'm not hating.
Give me a moment, bro. Give me a
No
moment.
hate.
I'm
Jay
just
taking
my
them
only
strays.
problem. I actually like bunny hopping. I'll say it. But my only problem with it is like you're playing a dungeon crawler, bro, and this guy's 360 bunny hopping. Like it's fucking ridiculous. That's really it. Same thing I see at Rondell Fighter. I don't care if it's OP or what. It's cringe to see a guy in full plate with a fucking butter knife beating my ass. It's just fucking stupid. It's just dumb. That's my
Butter
only
knife in a
complaint.
plate, man. He just had some bacon
Yeah.
and eggs, bro.
He's wearing
Giant
78
man in full
fucking
plate with a little tiny
kilograms
voice.
of steel, but he's got a fucking butter knife. It's just so stupid.
I'm gonna get you.
This sound-
Imagine seeing this
sound
game for
is-
the first time and seeing that shit. It's just
When
ridiculous.
the rogue wears plate gear. Yeah.
When a rogue daggers you, I get it. When a fighter's daggering you, the sound is so much more cringe.
Yeah.
Now
just
put that in a
feels bad.
goblin skin too. Oh man.
Oh yeah, why is that? Not nice, bro. Nice. This game's dead.
Question. You said you played the game quite a bit recently. What are your overall thoughts? Overall, the current game is fun and has endless possibilities. First of all, I started playing the game at 10 p.m. on Friday and Saturday nights, and once I start, I usually can't stop until 2 or 3 a.m. However, I can't say only good things, so let's talk about the parts that I really want to fix. There are various classes of players in the current game. It's really complicated with divisions based on playtime and skill level. I'm trying to understand the players in each area, so when I see feedback from each player, I try to figure out which group they belong to first. However, instead of explaining all of these things in detail, I'll explain the parts of the game that I feel I want to improve through one example. One of the problems that I currently recognize as the most important thing I want to improve in the game is that it's hard to enjoy the game when there are players in the party who aren't good at the game. That's hilarious. I mean, it's kind of
You suck.
yeah, it's kind of fun like helping a new buddy, but whenever the eventual team fight comes along and your
Fucking
buddy
Giga
just
Chad and 500 gear score busts open the door. Like, I hate to break it to you, bro. We're dead.
yeah, Tim
Welcome to
Tim's
Dark
going
Darker.
down. Yeah, it's sad. That's hilarious. To explain more, this game is so risky that when a low skill player plays with a high skill player and the game results in a bad outcome, both types of players become stressed, making it difficult for the low skill player to stay in the game due to guilt, and making the high skill player reluctant to play with the low skill player. I don't know. I know a lot of motherfuckers that love killing Timmy. Do you guys ever feel
Yeah,
guilty?
those guys are shameless as fuck.
Do you,
Oh, yeah.
Do you
That's why.
feel guilty when you kill Timmy?
All the time.
You're
I
good.
plead for
Okay.
their life. That's
Aw.
how I play the game.
You're a good man. Damn. Hunter, I
What do you
mean,
mean, bro? You'll walk up to him, you'll buff like 7 times, and the guy doesn't even turn around because he's just balls deep getting these white boots out of a chest. Like, how are you not supposed to feel bad, bro?
It's
how are you
so
gonna,
true.
How are you gonna kill them? It's
so
like walking
true.
up and you just see like Ralph Wiggum standing there picking his nose. You're just gonna beat him to death, like
because
on, man.
I know that my evil trio teammates will kill him before I do, and I'm trying to mercy kill. They're trying to play with their food. Okay, that's why. That's why.
Like you're either about that life or you're not. Welcome to Dark and Darker. Get better.
That's the real answer. This guy actually plays the game for fuck's sake.
But
So,
like, I mean, I will mess with them. Like, like if they swing at me, then they're going down. But like, I'll talk to them. I'll try to win that. If I don't hear back and they take a swing, you got to do what you got to do.
yeah.
That's why I put the weapon away, bro. I bust out.
I
these,
punched
you
one
know?
guy because he just kept having his shield up, and that was probably not right. But
Let's see, where did I leave off? Many team-based games have this problem, but I think each game has its own unique solution. I'm trying to solve this problem in two ways: increasing the survival rate of low-skill players and making it possible for high-skill players to 1v3. I think players who don't want to fight should be able to escape from the dungeon relatively easy in combat situations.
Fair.
In the process, I hope they will gradually get used to the dungeon and feel the fun of collecting resources. And finally, I hope they will become more daring and jump into combat situations when they want to fight, and only then will they die from PvP. Also, high skill players should be able to overcome crisis situations with their skills and turn the situation around. It's possible now, but it's relatively difficult to achieve the conditions, and it's very difficult for certain classes to do so. Yeah, I mean, I play with a wide variety of skilled folks. Some of my friends are extremely good at the game. I come in at like average, slightly above average. I do really, really well in norms. I do really, really well in 124 gear bracket. Most of the time I kill people and I get out. But as soon as I get to HR and I have good gear on and I go up against other people in like really, really good bis, I cannot seem to pull it out. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just suck. Maybe it's my teammates. You always blame the teammates, right? Always. Yeah, that's the smart man's move.
Fuck that guy, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It's the other two guys that are still alive. It's their fault. But yeah, I can see they should have backed me up. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can see what he means. But solving this issue, man, that's hard. Like how do you do it? I don't even know.
Nerf cleric. Nerf barbarian.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a hard one. I don't envy the balance team or the devs in that regard. Question. Buff Wizard.
Buff Wizard, delete Rogue from the game.
Buff Wizard, but a week later, nerf it.
No, Druid.
Go right back to where it was before.
Shit
delete Druid. It's fine.
Shit, annoying.
Speaking of Druid, does the dev team plan on fixing the Druid shapeshifting bug when using it many times? Answer: yes, we have identified. Sorry?
They fixed it.
Yeah, they fixed it. Okay.
There was a frame drop when you shifted too many times. Yeah.
Okay. Question: when are you going to bring back migrating from Blacksmith to Steam? My PC is struggling with Blacksmith. Ouch. We are working on this feature. We will not support multi-platform to facilitate the normal form of sales like DLC, but we will continue to support Blacksmith buyers who did not have a choice on other major platforms in the past to move there. Which is the case. There's some places on the planet you can't use Epic Games or Steam or whatever, so I get that. Question: when will we get wands for casters? I'm surprised there's not a fucking quiver question. Answer: this has been mentioned for a long time and has been worked on quite a bit, but it's not quite finished yet. It's also low priority and hasn't received much development time. And don't forget, we first saw the wand in the promotional trailer of this game.
The very first trailer.
Playtest 1.
And you quiver complainers are a thing, bro. Can't believe
Yeah,
it.
the wand, that's the true fucking lost item. Where is that?
Yeah.
Where's the damn wand?
They're in the files.
Is
They're
this
in
like
the
the
files.
government thing where like
The deep
we're
state?
getting attacked from like 20 years ago today? So they're like 20 years ahead of us. But Iron Mace has like wands and sorcerers.
They
were using them in the trailer.
Yeah,
And
the
they're
deep state
bro.
Iron Macers, they're having like Harry Potter wizard duels with their wands and shit. We're not seeing that.
Must be nice.
I want the
They're
footage.
still mad about Druid movement. Ha 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 ha.
Exactly. Yeah, that's so 1990s. Yeah. Okay. Can current classes be finished before the next one releases, please? Having multiple unfinished classes doesn't feel good. I love the answer. Unfortunately, that's not possible, but we'll try. Okay.
I missed the question. I'm not gonna lie.
Somebody's saying that none of the classes are finished, and he wants them finished before SDF adds anything new.
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. We've talked about Rondell Fighter a lot. We know it's annoying, but question, is Rondell Fighter going to be looked at because that's the optimal way to play melee at the moment? Answer, the weapon mastery penalty was removed to allow fighters to use powerful bows as they had fewer options to counter magic users, but things seem to have changed somewhat now, as it tends to. That's what the meta does. Not the best answer for that. The 5% on weapon mastery definitely was not enough. You were right, OnePeg, in that regard. We got to see more balancing. Yeah. Will we be able to take items without the found by me status in raid once we get them out? Can the found by me status then be applied? I feel like quest loot and other loot could be used. Tarkov has a similar function. Answer, unfortunately, there are no plans yet. Question, plans to address the hyper druid movement? Again, not yet. This is by design. More about druid. Does druid fulfill the role that you intended it to have? Currently, I feel like druid is in a place that doesn't really have an identity. I'm wondering how you guys feel about druid. Answer, druids are doing what I want them to do, except that the role as a healer is weaker than I expected.
How are you going to say the druid doesn't have an identity? That's wild.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That is some left field shit.
Yeah, they have great control and their healing is pretty good. Like whenever you cut off a team from their healer or their barb comes in and you put a treant in the doorway and you are poking them with your spear and you have a restore going and your fighter's in front of you, like that's a pretty solid role. It's control and healing, and it does have a place. What were you gonna say?
Just like how absurd that he doesn't think the healing is good enough. Like,
Mending Grove is fucking good. Like straight up, really,
like
really.
Is it? No, I guess my question was, and this does he mean like a specific, like we have this whole side spec of like healer druid versus the kind of role you just mentioned?
I
because
think
the heals are really strong for what it does. I thought.
I don't know, maybe not enough heals, or maybe the scaling isn't enough.
They weren't as good, but now that they have scaling,
they're fine now. Yeah.
I saw Nate heal like 60 health from a Dreamfire on his fighter, by the way.
By the way, that's super satisfying.
60 instant heal.
Yes, that is so satisfying. If you can Nature's Touch a couple buddies, and then you start hitting Dreamfires from the back as they're frontlined, and you're doing tons of damage, like pretty decent damage, and the heal on it is actually significantly good.
Yeah, it's 100% scaling.
It's fucking good.
It's insane.
It's so strong, and people don't use it enough.
Does that comment not kind of raise like that's like Rondell Dagger fighter isn't quite fast enough, is what I feel like he just said.
Yeah, I just think that like whoever asked that question doesn't understand the class that they're playing.
Yes, I agree.
All right, anyway.
Maybe for like low gear and stuff, it's probably not very noticeable, but Restore is like crazy good.
Restore is good.
Percent heal.
Did SDF? So this was on the 3rd. Did SDF add the scaling before or after he did this Q&A?
For a long time.
Scaling's been in a while.
The scaling on healing was before this, right? Yeah,
it's been since the last wipe.
Yeah, I mean, I think when he wrote, like, again, like it's not his first language, right? So like he might be looking at it like most druids aren't playing a healing role primarily. They're not backlining because the shape-shifting shit is as good as it is. So maybe that's what he means by weaker. Like it's not as prevalent, like not popular.
Sure.
I don't know.
Well, he goes on.
I think weak healing. I don't think that's true.
Yeah, it's pretty solid, especially if you have natural healing going as well, and you have good magical healing, and you're going a heal build. It's good, but maybe to this person's credit, maybe you do need to actually pump the magical healing. If you want to go that route, you actually have to gear for it.
Same thing with
that makes sense.
Truly.
Yeah.
What I want is not for the role of the druid to be reduced or other capabilities to be limited, but for all classes to change so that they can deal with a wider variety of situations within their own personality. Okay. Question. I'd be very curious to hear your thoughts on the current bee hopping epidemic. It's a bug. When are the promised balance changes going to occur? The dev team seems to be tweaking things that people aren't concerned about. Arena seems to be rushed and very unsatisfactory. It's the early iteration, dum-dum. Overall,
I'll second that, though. Early or not. It does feel like it was scraped together over a weekend.
Really?
To be fair. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it is a base, and that a lot is going to be added to it, and it'll be changed a lot. They just wouldn't.
Yeah,
They just
like
needed the
just started
groundwork.
kind of base.
Yeah, they
It looks like honestly like Arena feels like it's just proof of concept. Like, look, we can have rounds and people can fight each other.
Yes.
Like that's kind of like what it came out as.
But it's fun. Everyone agrees that it's fun. So
It's fun.
Yeah, I don't.
It's fun. It's
To
still
hear this guy call it
uncooked as
very
fuck. Still raw.
unsatisfactory though is wrong. It's not.
Yeah, sure. That's maybe.
Yeah, that's just a little harsh. Overall, the content seems bland, and we haven't really gotten to see the game evolve past Rondel Fighter, Cleric Backliner, double abilities, Bach Phantomized Warlock, and Druid Hyper Movement.
Just listen at all, huh?
Yeah, I know. Like, okay, keep going, buddy.
Just got bows
All
and
we've
shit,
gotten is this and
fireballs.
this and this and this. All these seem to be against your vision, but yet you all ignore them every patch. How will you address this? This is an angry gamer.
He mad, yeah.
But the answer, though, I love the honesty from SDF. He says, answer, this is a painful statement, but it is true. In the future, I will focus more on developing and adjusting classes. Of course, I can't promise that this will achieve the direction and satisfy everyone. Let's see where it goes. You got to give it to him. The guy, he gets called out on something, and if he agrees, he'll be honest about it. That's cool.
You haven't done anything about everything I don't like in your video game. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, the question though is a little harsh, a little loaded.
Yeah.
But the answer's solid. I mean, I got to give him credit for that.
He's a
SDF.
badass.
Yeah, you got to give SDF credit for that. Question: do you have plans to buff loot from sub bosses, or give some variations of special wraiths or champions that encourage players to go after them? Well, there are special monsters in the game that drop lesser artifacts. I also have a suggestion.
I ran in my first one, didn't get shit.
Same.
Wait, it didn't drop anything for you?
Same.
I ran into Grotox, my first one, and I got a green Fine Cuirass.
Yeah, so they changed it so that it was a 10% drop rate, and then they changed it to 50%. So now it's a coin flip.
Okay, that's so crazy
It
because
was
I thought,
100%.
It used to
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
It was 100%, but the mob rate was 1/10 of what it is now, which still isn't that high because I still don't know of anybody that's seen a mimic chest yet because it's like it was 1 in 250,000 and now I think it's 1 in 25,000. I don't know if anyone that's seen the name mimic
Yeah,
yet.
there's not very many mimics, so
Yeah.
I get they want it to be unique and stuff and special, but I feel like if you see it, it should be a guaranteed drop.
Meanwhile,
Yeah,
Katie got 2 pairs of the frost pants. So far.
Wait,
Yeah.
is that off the spider? The spider?
Yeah.
I got one of those, and I saw the Darth Vader armor guy. He's like looks like Darth Vader, dude. It is badass. He didn't.
It
drop
was pretty
anything.
cool.
Yeah, have you seen him? No.
I ran
Oh,
into
the
him
living
yesterday, my
armor?
first
I haven't
one.
seen him.
He's
Yeah.
the grotesque. Yeah.
In Grotox, yeah.
Yeah,
He
Grotox.
drops a thorn shield. I was pretty excited because I realized he was all black fucking knight.
Yeah, it's
I was like, holy
badass,
shit.
dude. He looks cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him yet. One day.
Somebody in
Um,
chat says they got the footstep lantern. That's kind of cool.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was watching
a
Sebad
mimic.
Strange play with it. It was pretty cool. He kept telling people that he was multi-classing. People were getting pissed.
But I got those pants for arena though.
Nice.
Yeah, that was good.
I
Yeah.
guess. But I don't know if they're even good to be honest with you. So
Don't they slow
They're
a little bit
amazing.
on hit? Yeah, they're good, right?
the 5%.
Yeah, No, it's good, man. It's like 30 move speed.
5%'s a
Oh, okay.
lot.
That's a lot.
Oh,
5% is a lot. Yeah.
I feel like that's
Well, I'm
solid.
wearing them. So
Yeah, no, they're like best in slot for arena for sure. Yeah.
and I got good rolls too. So anyway.
Let's see here. Let's skip this one.
Yeah, don't get your pants pickpocketed, bro.
yeah.
I,
Leave them
please,
on.
I can't wait for this content. I will not take those pants off.
Aw, damn, what a shame.
Well, speaking of that, speaking about naked, question: why is that
Yeah.
in a game about finding loot, the best option is not wearing a chest and helmet? Armor needs to be buffed, and running around naked needs to be penalized more. Answer: I agree. There you go. Here's a good question. Chance at a katana type weapon. I always love katana type weapons in games. Would love a two-handed option for rogue, maybe bard. A two-handed katana for the rogue or for the bard? Really?
I'm getting landmined by a katana.
Yeah, what?
A rogue two-handed.
I don't know about that one. Answer: I think the Japanese sword is something we all dream of. It is an iconic weapon, so even if it doesn't exist yet, it may exist in the future. I think that's probably a yes.
You know what would be cool with that, though? They could have it be like a light two-hander. So, like, you're fast with it and doesn't do, like, crazy damage, but it's just cool.
I mean, that's typically
cool.
what it is in
And
games.
Stuff like that.
And that's what it is in, like, Souls games, right? Like, lots of quick slashes. You have mobility with it, but you're not hitting, like, a truck, you know?
Yeah.
That's always my favorite playstyle is, like, a katana-type weapon. It's super fun. Question: will you manage to fix desync? A. Unfortunately, I need details to give you an accurate answer. Well, fair enough. Are there plans to nerf Goblin Merchant and buff in-game loot? Bis loot shouldn't be able to be farmed without going into the game. So far, I don't feel like Goblin Merchants are that serious of a problem, but you do have a point. Question.
But wait. When did we get against fun? Goblin Merchant is fun.
Like,
Gambling's
people
good,
hate-
I like
kids.
Goblin Gambit's fun as hell, man.
Yeah, like please don't. That makes it so boring. If you get rid of that, that is
Yeah.
you can find good gear off the armor merchant if you do your quest. Like you can buy a purple whatever and like go just make free
Mhm.
money. Like just go
Mhm.
have fun. Let us gamble.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, that
Gam-
guy-
Amen. Amen.
that guy is definitely gaming with his boys, and his friend like hit it big on the Gamba. You know,
And he's jealous. He fucking got a full gore or something.
I killed the boss 20 times. I don't have a full gore.
People get pissed. They really do. Jealousy is a thing. And
There's the YouTube video. The guy I got it as a sound clip of the dude that got pestilence, and he got a viola back to back goblin gambling.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
I would have bought a lot of.
it was
tickets.
ridiculous.
That's pretty lucky. Druid Bear form needs a nerf. Question. Fast. Answer. I agree the damage might be a bit excessive. Yeah, we all know. Question. What's the future of the map queue matchmaking system? We don't have an official name yet, but we're going to experiment with a system that will allow you to start playing in the Forgotten Castle and move between floors immediately without having to wait. This is a big...
Wait, what did you just say?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. This shit is crazy.
This is
if
the
he does
craziest
this,
thing.
it's gonna be wild.
This is what you alluded to earlier, OnePeg, a crazy answer. We do not have an official name yet, but we're going to experiment with a system that will allow you to start playing in the Forgotten Castle and move between floors immediately without having to wait. This is a big system that requires a change to the existing structure, and development is just finishing the planning stage. We want to develop it as quickly as possible, but it is expected to take quite some time. We understand your discomfort with 3-layer dungeons, and we know that it is currently quite loose. Also, Expressman has not reached the desired state, and improvements are delayed, so it is still uncomfortable using them. However, we have come to the conclusion that it would be better to improve the fundamental problem rather than spending too much energy on short-term improvements to the current state. We're going to develop the system above. Once the above system is developed, each floor will have time flowing at the same time, and players will be able to move down immediately if they choose. This is different from the floor matchmaking system we talked about before, but it could be a precursor to it.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's a monumental shift.
So like if you wanted to like boss rush, it's literally just like bum rush to a red set of stairs, go to the next red set of stairs, and then like run to the boss. You could be there in the first 5 minutes if you wanted to, depending on load times and all.
You could truly rush, but at that point, you have to have really, really good incentive for stuff that is not bossing. You need really cool points of interest. You need good sub bosses. You need good bosses.
You need to put
ruins.
You need to put some bosses on fucking crypts. Is what you need to do. You
That
need bosses on you need to get the second boss of ruins. You need a boss or two on crypts, and then you have the boss in Inferno, so that people actually have shit like points of interest to rush on all the floors. And then you have to add like 10 minutes to the timer or something.
Yes, exactly. I was going to say you need more time, and also you need really, really, really engaging, cool, badass quests that make you want to go to ruins, that make you want to go to the Frost Caves. You have to give people real incentive to not just rush the Lich and try to get a fucking full gore or whatever. You gotta.
Well, I mean, that's what's going to happen. And it actually is a quality of life thing for somebody that's trying to learn how to fight the bosses. Like, that's kind of a win. Because that way you don't have to wait 35 minutes in order to be able to get to them. You know?
Yeah. Nope. We're only halfway done with the Q&A, and we've been going for almost 2 hours. So
I was going to say, he answered like
I'm going to skip ahead.
60 questions. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to skip ahead for the sake of time, because we still have to read a statement and do a little bit of Q&A as well. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead to question. Will Sorcerer remove perks and spells from the Wizard to be put onto Sorcerer? Answer. No, the introduction of the Sorcerer will not immediately change the Wizard significantly. So, a couple keywords there. Not immediately or significantly. So, we're going to eventually see some changes to Wizard, but not at first. Question: full plate armor, long range melee weapons, throwing axes, bow, crossbow, sprint, self heal. When will fighter get balanced? Answer: in my opinion, fighter is adequate. Rather, other classes should be better. All right. But it is kind of annoying that almost everyone is just sprint second wind. That's still the tried and true. There needs to be more options, straight up. It's pretty annoying.
Anything else has been a meme. I actually fought a duo of fighters. One of them was a longsword fighter in full plate, and the other guy was naked with a shield. And he shield bashed the fighter into us, like through the air. Yeah, like the dude jumped in front of him and he shield bashed him through the air so that he like dive bombed us like with his longsword. He died, but it was still funny as hell to see.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's cool.
It was really cool to watch. Yeah,
I like that.
But he didn't make it. But
well, SDF literally says the only regret about fighter is that they are too dependent on sprint and second wind. There you go. However, this is not a problem with fighter, but a problem with the current meta, or it's a problem with the skills that are available to the class.
Like, if you like dying, don't pick those.
Right, exactly. Let's play Breakthrough Shield Bash. Are we going to get an update today? All right, let's skip ahead of that shit. What are we doing? Why am I even fucking reading that? Come on. Let's see here. Question: can we expect to see a quality of life change or update soon? Stuff that would make the game better for 100% of the player base, not just a specific class or playstyle. Things like buggy ladders, Expressman doesn't have a buy all button, auto search market listing items, spectating isn't accurate enough, hunting traps should be owned by the player who placed them, toggle mute for voice chat, that exists, practice location to test out our builds with no penalty of dying, like a little practice arena or something like that, stash searching with item highlighting. Some of these are like not even some of those are a little much for quality of life. There's other things that are more important to address, I think. But answer is, I also have a lot of things that I find inconvenient while playing the game. So there are a lot of areas that I see that need improvement. Going forward, we will prioritize improving what we have already developed. So he wants to fix ladders. He wants to fix Expressman.
he said something about the Expressman in like a later thing, like when he did the patch notes. They're gonna give like a little bit of time for like the last person in, like on the red stairs. He's gonna give them like a little bit of a time delay, I guess, to be able to, like, you know, sit on for 15 seconds or something before the map switches. He said something about that.
Exactly. And he says Expressman is being worked on and will also include a buy button for all too, which is cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Question: PvE mode win. This won't be explicitly there, but I plan to make it easier for players who don't want to PvP to avoid it. That's a good answer. Thoughts on current state of Ranger? Personally, feel he's a bit underwhelming in trios, even though he can deal a lot of damage in theory. He agrees. Let's see. Let's skip ahead.
I disagree, but for time.
Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, I mean, we can go all night if you guys want. I'm just, if we slowly go through this Q&A, though,
y'all think really that Ranger right now is not strong? Like, because the multi-shot thing can like I've been one-shotted by it.
If the Ranger, if the Ranger player has aim, they're fucking good. Straight up, they're amazing. Yeah, straight up. If you're a good shot,
it's a can you aim class. Yeah, for sure.
That's why I think that the balance is in a fair state, because any class can be extremely scary or extremely terrible.
A bad Ranger is a free kill, straight up.
Yeah.
But a good Ranger, as a melee player, as a longsword fighter, dude, good luck.
Yeah, watch Soapy do his thing, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a good Ranger, they just, when you have mobility and the ability to do doors and like even with the traps, like there's just so much. There's a lot of tech. But I don't know. I guess if SDF thinks so, he thinks so.
Soapy and Ranger too.
Are you more of afraid of a Ranger or a fighter, Jay?
It was like the same thing. Are you kidding
me?
All right.
we wear cloth, dude. Like,
I'll always hate
anybody
Rangers,
with a bow.
Yeah.
Ranger, yeah. What's your main? Are you Warlock or Cleric? OnePeg.
I played a Cleric. I played a Cleric main like in like season 1. Yeah, but like the majority of my hours have been on Warlock and Wizard, and then lately Bard.
I saw you barding today, so.
Yeah.
What are you feeling the most? Like, what are you liking the most, OnePeg?
For arenas, a Wizard all day, every day. They're so fun, man. Like, Wizards the shit. Lately, Bard's been fun lately, though. but I still feel dirty like using a rondo dagger trying to just shank the wyvern now. But yeah, it's fun.
Let's see here. Let's see here. When is the new social space coming? Answer: we are currently considering internally whether to prioritize this or not, because there is a judgment that other things may be more important. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys want a tavern space to hang out and dick around, or do you want?
That'd be cool. I don't think it should be a high prio personally.
That is a waste of internal resources, and people can RP later.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
I mean, nice other than having a training dummy, I can see the point.
Working on damage and like understanding it, like because it's like a freaking crazy mathematical equation to figure that shit out.
Yeah. No, I'm down with having like training dummies of like various like strengths or whatever. If there's like a room that they can load you into real quick, so you can swing on them. But yeah, the rest of it, like social space and all that stuff, like I haven't seen most people that talk about this game when they have stuff that they don't like. Social space isn't even on the list. It's usually like, this class is OP, this class is broken, this shit doesn't work, fix the fucking ladder hang-ups, blah. You know, like they go down the line of stuff that happens like in a match when you're fighting people. They're not talking about like, but I want to be able to talk to some girl in cat form. Like, you know, like no one gives a shit.
What if I do?
Some people give a shit. Griff.
Try it in the dungeon. You can, there's RP out there. You can run into Soapy in a rat form, and you can on or something.
Yeah.
Here's a good question. More riposte mechanics, please. Answer: I think so. I absolutely want to see more, for sure. More skill expression with certain gear is fun. It's good for the game, I think. Question: Paladin win. Answer: the distant future. Distant future. When he says distant future, exactly. I was gonna say that's got to be several wipes away. Let's see here. Can we get crafts for all weapons? Answer: ultimately, that will be the case. That will happen. Question: will more depth to melee weapons be added, like giving a riposte to weapons that can block? Doesn't need to be like a boost of damage with the longbow riposte, but like quarterstaff, could it knock enemies back or sweep their legs and knock them down with its riposte? Something like that. Answer: this has been on hold for a while. I'm going to start thinking more about combat and see if we can make shields more sophisticated, and then take another look at melee combat mechanics. This doesn't necessarily mean adding new features, though. Let's see how it goes. All right. And then he has a final statement here. His final statement to close off the Q&A is as follows. This time I tried my best to convey my usual thoughts. There may be some parts that are disappointing, but I hope you liked the answers. Since we only have about 7 days of work available out of about 3 weeks, and had many holidays in between, we chose to take a vacation and rest rather than forcibly change the game. Smart. It may have seemed to outsiders that we were not paying attention to the game, which is so crazy. This is what the player base has been trained to believe, that an indie studio should be pushing out a weekly or a bi-weekly update for the game and constantly iterate, constantly balance.
They said it that way.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They've trained the player base to expect this, to the point where he feels like he's got to apologize and say, "Oh, we took a vacation because everyone's been grinding the fuck out of their work schedules. We decided to take a holiday, and now everyone thinks we're not paying attention to the game."
Listen, bro, you guys telling me you're working 24-hour shifts, bro.
That's terrible.
Problem. It's just it.
I know it's terrible though. It's terrible. I think it's not a good thing. I mean, like most games have an update like maybe once a month or every couple months, right? Every 6 weeks. Isn't that like the norm?
I'm just saying, Riot did what? They dedicated 2-week patches, and look how far they've gone. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, fair enough. However, since cheaters are active a lot while we were sleeping, bastards, we did not want them to know that we were on vacation. So please understand that we were sharing this after the fact. Damn, that's how much they got to tiptoe.
I think that's smart.
Yeah, but that also is sad. Damn.
You know what makes me think of that? Sorry, is Ubisoft said, "Hey, we're gonna kick up our anti-cheat." All right, like this is like, I don't know, like a year ago or whatever. And then immediately the cheat developers went crazy and everyone was spin botting in every single lobby of all time. It has been that way ever since. So I respect the whole doing it after.
Dude, Ubisoft's about to die. I've been saying
I
this
hope
for
so.
about 2 years now.
The game sucks.
I've been saying for a couple years now that studio is going to get parted out and sold, and some people are going to make a little bit of money, and then that company's going bye-bye. And you know what? It's looking like that's actually about to happen, but that's a different conversation. We're also planning to change our development direction a bit in the future. At first, we were able to develop quickly while sticking to our vision. Until the alpha test, we were less physically burdened, except during the testing period. We were able to maintain the minimum quality we wanted. Since there were not many functions, there were fewer things to manage. However, since the early access service started, we have felt that the bug occurrence rate is increasing and the level of completion is gradually decreasing. There are many reasons, but ultimately this is due to the accumulated technical debt from the rapid development in the past and the exhaustion from too frequent patches and excessive schedules. There you go. In particular, our team members have a strong love for the game and the players and a strong sense of responsibility, so they tend to try to solve it somehow without sleeping for dozens of hours. They become too accustomed working without hesitation, even on holidays. In order to improve the situation and provide better quality services, I'll make a choice to prioritize the health and happiness of the developers more in the future. This may seem like a slower development in the short term, but it will be a much better choice for the players and all of us in the long term. Thank you for always supporting us, and I promise to do my best in the future. That last statement's great.
Sounds like they hired some people.
That's
What
good.
that sounds like.
Yep.
Yep.
And now we should probably read today's statement just 1 week later after the Q&A. This was about, 8 hours ago. Came out this afternoon. PST SDF said, "Here I'd like to share a brief vision for the future of Dark and Darker with the players I briefly mentioned in the previous Q&A. Over the past few weeks, I have been thinking deeply about the current state and future of Dark and Darker, and I've decided to completely change the direction of the game towards my original vision. Some of you may remember that I've occasionally said things that are completely contrary to the current state of the game. Things like wanting to remove random modifiers, wanting to remove duo queues, not liking gear-based matchmaking, wanting 1v3s, and wanting shorter time to kill. When I first established the vision for the game and started developing it, I wanted the game to simulate raw dungeon crawling as much as possible. However, I feel like dungeon crawling has become a sport, like weight classes and martial arts. This is the result of me running in the opposite direction of my original vision for a long time, continuously putting band-aids on it without finding a way to solve the fundamental problem. And we've had enough experience that I can finally conclude that we should stick to the original vision. Of course, that might not be the right answer. We're still learning a lot as we develop. Damn, let's find another direction then. But I feel hopeful that the key to solving many of the problems that exist now lies there. We're going to completely change the fundamental areas of the game related to items in the future. In short, we're going to minimize the impact of grinding on PvP. Grinding will expand in a direction that is more self-satisfying than in a direction that affects PvP. For an extreme example, sometimes a player with a common rarity item may win against a player with a legendary rarity item. Of course, in reality, the player with the legendary rarity item will have a statistical advantage. At least I hope there is a hope for a reversal. We'll continue to experiment and perfect this for the rest of the season. Maybe the rarity system will be removed, or the random modifiers will be removed during the process of change and development, or maybe they will still be in the game. The above will not be reflected immediately in hotfix 67 tomorrow, but starting from the next hotfix, number 68, we will gradually proceed with the patch towards this vision. Let's all watch where this ship is going, and let's row this ship together. Unfortunately, my English may cause misunderstandings, but I will correct it then. Please be generous and understand." And that was the statement. Wow.
I'll kick it off. I feel like they're tripping, personally.
Why? Like, why is that the first thing you think?
This is just... I take this as like a SDF wanting to get things off his chest kind of moment. Because he did that with me, like a month and a half ago or whatever.
Couple months back.
That one-on-one call.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, this ties into like, so like, what's wrong with the game? Like, truly is, I can't put my finger on it. So my fallback is I'm probably just burnt out after almost 4,000 hours straight.
Right.
That's a ridiculous amount of enjoyment, and there's still more for you. Like, you can still probably get a little bit better, right? Like,
oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm not the best player or anything. Yeah.
You're really, you're one of them. I agree with you
I'll
that he's
settle for
tripping
that.
though. faster time to kill. Like part of the skill expression and being able to outplay people is the fact that you have time to react. Because when I said this a while ago, landmine rogue was my least favorite time in the game because it's just you're insta dead
Yes.
for no reason. So like I'm literally walking and he says he wants more of that dungeon crawl, like because we are kind of running through, ignoring mobs, opening doors now that we've learned kind of the mechanics of the AI.
Right.
So he's wanting us to. It's not that fun to like slowly move, like have to swing through every invisible thing and pay it. Like that's he wants the play button to not be stressful. Like allow us to play.
Yeah, and I'm honestly worried about a shorter TTK. Like, do you guys remember?
That's what I was.
Yeah, not even like landmine rogue, but just like a regular fucking fight when you're just getting 2 shot to the head with a horsey axe or something like that. Like that's not really that great either. I like that. To your point, Hunter, you get a chance to fucking react. You get a chance to compose yourself for a second and figure out how you want to space this guy or W key him or run out this door and heal really fast or get a spell off. I feel like it's actually at a comfortable spot for the most part. So to hear...
It's really just heals that are overtuned, like honestly. It's like Druid heals, it's fucking Blood Exchange, and it's definitely Cleric, right?
I don't know. I'm nervous about a shorter TTK. I hope that's not the main thing he's thinking about. I know that's the example he gave, but
I think he's talking gear normalization. And that's what it sounds like.
That for sure.
Yeah,
for PvP. And like this is the shit that Spud has been saying for like over a year. Was like if you want to go ham on PvE content and have like a bunch of stats or whatever, go nuts. But there should be like a PvP component to it when you're doing damage to each other or whatever, that it's realized at a different set of values so that it's a little bit more normalized. So you still get benefits from stats, but the benefit to the stats isn't as much of a gear check as it is right now. Even though it's more balanced than it's been in the past, I think now, there are still moments where like you're getting 2 and 3 tapped, 1 tapped by certain builds on certain classes still have the capability of pulling that shit off. So the TTK is still super fucking low, depending on what the matchups are. Which is, you know, them coming up with better ways to keep that shit from happening, peels, counters, you know, all this stuff that SDF keeps talking about. But the way that he's writing this is it sounds like he's looking at modifying it so that there's more gear normalization, kind of like what New World would do with like level differences and gear differences and shit, or like what World of Warcraft does with like the you know,
well, arena gear and WoW
the
is
systems
all
that they
like
have.
it's all level,
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like once you got to the certain like that certain stat level, you know, in Glad gear or whatever, everybody had the same shit, and then it was just based on like what comps you used and when you used your skills and timing and you know bursting and all that. Like, and I'm down. I'm actually down for that, totally. But I don't know. In chat, I was talking about this with Chad earlier. I don't know then where the carrot is, because then if it's just like I want to get good gear so that I can down bosses, I mean. Once you know what you're doing, you can down bosses in next to nothing. So, like, if the whole point of having like amazing shit is so that you can fight other guys with amazing shit, like, how do you make it so that like the dude that's at 230 GS that's trying to do high roller for like their 10th time ever doesn't end up getting steamrolled by a guy in a 500 GS like legendary kit? I don't know what the answer to that is, because I think what he's trying to do is make it so that the guy in 230 has a fighting chance and can actually like maybe check the guy that's in the 500 GS kit so that he's actually a threat, where like the guy in the 500 GS kit should still win, but he's still got to work for it. And I don't necessarily have a problem with that.
I feel like those people in those crazy kits can be killed by people in lesser gear today. Like we watch streamers die with probably way better kit because of a third party, because of like maybe being a little like nonchalant. Yeah, I killed people with named uniques on. I killed a guy in, I think, RMT gear today with just a garbage kit to go fight the Wyvern because he swung his pouch in the second time, and that's a free riposte, right? Like, it exists. But I do agree that, like, because this is once again why I like 124 lobbies is the gear normalization. But I do like, I'm a little bit faster, I'm a little bit healthier, because knowing and understanding gear is going to make or break you in small increments. But I feel like there's more skill expression than the gear. You know, if you just play,
there definitely is now. 100% there is now.
Patient. Back in the day when there was all gold cloaks and all of that, they were faster than me. 2 hit
+3 everything.
And like I literally just hid in the ruins like for a season because like I couldn't hit that.
Yeah, you were in the second waiting room,
and
yeah.
they still killed me.
Yeah.
Well, hey, why
but I mean,
don't we,
that's what it looks like he's writing, is that he's looking at more gear normalizing for the purpose of PvP. I'd actually like to see like there still be useful stats, you know.
Sorry, wife.
Hello.
Okay.
I can't silent her call.
Oh, we get it, bro. You got a life and stuff. This guy's got his life figured out.
I mean,
That's what
clearly,
happens when you get over 40, Jay.
Yeah.
You start figuring shit
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Yeah.
I still have 2 years to try to figure it out, man. So why don't we kick it over to Q&A? This has been a pretty long episode. We've been going for over 2 hours, so we don't have to. I know this man has a wife that's calling him at this point, so we can do like a somewhat quick Q&A. But OnePeg, are you live? Do you have your chat going as well?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, if you have any good questions,
Chad, if
please.
you got questions, ask away, man.
Yeah, please feel free to throw them in.
Yeah, I'm on. We're live on YouTube and Twitch at the same time today.
Perfect.
I would just like to reiterate, I think Iron Mace is tripping. I think game's great. I don't think blow it all up. And if you do want to do that, then you better have Dad Classic, save state saved on the side. Just to revert everything. So I'm just being dead serious is all. If they want to fuck with gear and maybe remove one of the 48 rare tiers, sure, that's one thing, Maybe take out one of the 7 damage rolls that you can get on one piece of gear, sure.
Yeah, it's a good question. There's a lot of people asking what we think about the AP system, like how it's built now.
I haven't had a chance.
I have 6 hours of AP experience. Can't
I mean,
my opinion yet.
The process is more of the same, less looting. I mean, my opinion of it is the process is more of the same. There's less looting, more focus on like mob focal points. I don't really like that there isn't any credit being given to like any of the trash mobs when fucking Thanos skeletons are like the most scary thing that you'll come across in the dungeon for the most part, and they're worth nothing. And like I like that there's rewards on PvP. Like if they're the same rank as you, you're getting 99. It goes from like I don't know, like 20 AP to almost 200 depending on like how many rank differences there are and whether you're higher or lower. But it's more grindy though. Like there are guys that are doing 1,000. There's guys that are doing 1,000 AP runs going through like the 3 floors on a solo run, which means they can pull it off in like 22 to 25-ish runs. They could get demigod done, but I think that's kind of rare. Most people aren't doing that. I'm like me running solo. I'm getting like 400 and 500, but I'm not optimizing shit yet.
I'm not an immediate fan of it, but I get the idea. They're like trying to make like sub bosses and big chests kind of like hotspots and POIs type of deal. I think the angle with the AP, right? The problem with that is that there's less AP on the map, so it makes the lobbies harder.
And it incentivizes fighting versus
well, I mean, they shrunk the whole thing. The penalty's less for dying. The brackets are less like gap in between the ranks. So it's like it doesn't hurt as bad when you die, but it takes longer to get from like Exemplar 1 to Demigod now. It's going to take more runs, more consistency. So. And it just feels like more of the same, just more of a time commitment than it was last season. Which I just
feel bad for like the people who aren't sweating out of their minds but just want to get Demigod and stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like it's much harder for those players, which I just don't think the AP reward should be like gate kept in any way, because it's like I've always said it's like a battle pass kind of.
It runs like a battle pass
and stuff. Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Penalize people for not being turds at the game. At the end of the day,
it's like a battle pass with a rank system built in. It feels like it's got an identity crisis. I agree.
Well, the ranked portion will be figured out with Arena, right? If that's their goal.
Yeah, like the MMR competitive side, I think for sure. Yeah. Hunter, you were going to say something.
I mean, I think y'all hit on it, but like I used to, like some of my favorite accomplishments are reaching Gladiator in World of Warcraft and like getting the mount, and like you have that mount forever. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm crushed that I didn't. The only demigod or I didn't get was the cape, and I was like, once I realized there was a reward attached to it, I was like, then I focused in like I've hit all the other ones, but like I'm that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Luckily, you missed the weakest prize. The cape didn't actually turn out to be super cool.
The cape nowadays is pretty sick.
It's sick. 'cause,
The-
like,
the
that's an, you're an OG.
Nowadays.
Yeah,
you're
it's
an
some
OG.
drip.
Yeah.
It's some drip having the OG.
I do
kit,
think
no.
that the ice potions are I feel like the harder season to get. So I think having a difficult season to get there is actually cool. And I think if you don't put in the time and the work, I think I like that.
Fuck the frost spots, bro. Fuck those.
Hey, not many people have them. They might not look cool, but people know.
No,
Yeah.
that's true. I don't know. At first, whenever the cape first came out, people
don't
were
have them.
pretty underwhelmed. And then also the heart. People were very underwhelmed with the heart as
The
well.
heart
They
is
didn't-
the
they
heart
didn't
Turned out
understand
to
it.
be sick.
Now it
turned out
has
to
an
be
Turned
aura.
out to be sick as fuck.
Yes.
because you're glowing dark. Is that why?
Yeah,
Yes.
like if you
It's
ever
sick,
if you ever
and
see
I
like
like it.
when you're watching in the lobby, you see like the smoke coming off your shoulders.
Yeah,
That's the heart.
That's
And,
cool.
but you only ever see it when somebody's running around in the dungeon. It's like these little dark wisps. It's really subtle, but it's fucking dope once you notice.
I
Yeah.
would say
That was added
cape
later, though.
problem-
Yeah.
Yeah,
the cape problem was advertised as being like a galactical type of
Yes.
theme and stuff, and then it looks like someone just
Stencil
slapped
it
some
on.
stickers on
Yeah,
it. I'm
exactly.
gonna say that. I'm not gonna say
And that's what
I.
I mean. It was like
Yeah.
somewhat underwhelming.
But
Got some
now
cool
that
stickers
it's
on his
been
water
like,
bottle.
what 9 months or whatever, 6 months,
Yeah.
it's like
A while.
Yeah, I
you
got
see
the
a cape, you're
OG
like,
demigod
okay, the guy's
cape.
probably good. He's been playing since well before Steam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like, I think
Yeah.
it's cool.
The
Yeah.
the
Maybe it's
nuts
'cause I have
cape.
it and I don't have the frost spots.
Cum
You did-
cape,
how did-
the nut cape. Okay.
Spots.
I was
The
playing
nut cape.
GJRP. I was so addicted.
That's what you deserve. That.
Yeah. I was running my own
you didn't get the
mechanics
season 2
business, okay?
potions.
Get wrecked,
No, I
Jay.
didn't.
I got
Not
some Jay
demigod
don't have.
season 2, bro.
At least I can
Damn.
buy the bone pots, and you can't buy cape skins. So, you know,
Yeah, but you can't buy
it's the last
frost
thing I
pots,
have, bro. Feels bad.
You can't buy the old
They're
coom
sweet.
cape as
Hey man, I got that
007
GCX
says.
torch. I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah, you do.
Somebody in a YouTube comment said they were refunding their GCX torch because they didn't like what I had to say on something. I was like,
People are so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay,
what
let's get some
You
questions.
satisfied with the wipe length and crafted gear releases? Well, I don't know how we'd know the wipe length. It was what data mined to be 5 months. I don't know if that's accurate, but
They have that in files though.
I do think them releasing what Darkness Gear, Ruby, Silver, Frostlight, and Gold in one batch was a little crazy to me.
I just think they don't have enough quests yet. I think they haven't written enough in.
Tough shit, bro. You got 4 tiers. You can at least divvy it out that way, right?
Yeah, they could. They should have. Yeah.
Or just some way to stagger it. And you don't even fuck it. You don't even need the quest. Just delay a release or something. Worst case scenario. But dropping it all at once is like a huge just fucking overload. It switches the game overnight, but
Sea Turtle Man says, Hunter's awesome. If he has time to come back on the podcast, you should come back. I was actually going to ask at the end of it, but if you ever want to come on one of our roundtable discussions where we get a bunch of people on, we'll get like 6, 7, 8 people on a call. You're more than welcome
Christmas
to,
is
obviously.
coming, dude.
Appreciate that. I would like to. I obviously I can tell I'm passionate about the game. So this is an honor. Really.
Dude, when you said that you had like 2,000 hours, I was like, oh shit.
I know. I
okay.
was like, I knew
I
they
sound like I know what I'm talking about.
I'm
man's
not gonna
gaming.
lie.
You're a
I
gamer.
expected a little Timmy, but then you're like, man, I got all these hours. I got demigod. I was like, never mind.
Listen, man, I played Tarkov with a
My
couple
bad.
like other guys. Like one of my homies is a former NBA player, and he doesn't know shit like about
Oh,
Tarkov
really?
at all. Like, yeah, he stops in like we game and shit, but he doesn't know because I got 10,000 hours in that game. That's how I got started in streaming. But he didn't. Yeah, he didn't. Like I love him to death. He's a good dude, and we have fun. But like he doesn't know nearly as much. So it's like definite like on levels
He's
of
just not a
understanding
gamer,
difference.
bro.
Whereas like you can run with everybody.
I'm a gamer.
It's
I'm a
awesome,
gamer.
dude. I love that
I'm
shit.
about it. I'm about it. But there are some just because that one NBA, that's a small sim. There's some professional athletes that get down like
Oh yeah.
that are
Yeah.
close to like Willie Calhoun was almost professional COD. Like
Damn.
yeah.
Nice.
What was it back in the day? The game was like he was like in the top 5 in the world in Madden.
And like
Or some shit.
Luka, the basketball
Crazy.
player for the Mavericks, is like almost is basically a pro ape. What is it? What's the Blizzard one? The 5-player one.
Overwatch.
Overwatch?
Overwatch. Yeah, like he's like professional Overwatch, and he's also like
Oh.
NBA. Y'all know Luka, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Damn, I didn't know he
So
was.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Dang.
That means a lot to me, Dark and Darker community, because I'm I want to get involved in it. I love the game. I've reached out to them. They wouldn't let me get the coffee thing. I bought the second coffee, the pour out one, and that is not the coffee thing, man. I missed out on that.
When did you ask about that?
Well,
Was that recently?
I got the pour one out emote.
Was that recently?
I have the pour out. I asked about that like early. So
okay.
like really early, and they're like, no, and they just like cold blooded. They're like, we're glad he likes the game, but no.
Yeah, someone brought that up when I was visiting Korea and went to HQ like 5 weeks ago. And some biz dev guy actually brought that up. He's like, yeah, sometimes we have people ask for shit, like, you know, like celebrities and people from America. And we're always like, fuck no, you can't have this stuff. And they're just like cold about it. They're like, no handouts, not at all. They don't give a shit.
I actually like that about them.
I know, they don't care. I know, me too.
And then we meet Jin and he's giving us t-shirts and shit.
Yeah, well, Jin loves giving out a t-shirt. He's the biz dev guy I'm referring to, actually. But Jin's the man. No. Yeah, he's like, awesome. Fuck no, we're not giving people anything. But he'll throw you a t-shirt in person, Hunter, if you're ever at TwitchCon or something.
You're saying I could maybe get the frost pots. Maybe.
No,
definitely not.
Hell no.
Yes.
Definitely not.
I'm DMing us.
Dude, let's put it this way.
A little PayPal memo.
He was playing some other game, man. Hell no.
Dude, no.
I was
running a small business.
All right.
At the start of this wipe, before I claimed my season rewards, I deleted my character to change the name of my fighter. I just wanted to change my name, and I forgot to get my rewards, so I actually deleted my rewards. I didn't get the Skelly Champ skin, and I was so fucking bummed.
Oh, shit.
I was so bummed. I was like, fuck, how did I forget about that? And I was in the office, and I'm talking to the dev team. I'm like, guys, hook it up. Let me get that Skelly Champ. They're like, you fucked up? No. And I was like, what the fuck?
Let's go, dude.
I know. They were like,
I love it.
I actually was like, I said, you know what? Fair enough. Mad respect. I was like, I can't argue with that. They don't give a fuck, man. Yeah, it was awesome.
How much you willing to pay for an account, man?
Zero, maybe $30 one more time, maybe.
This guy's a genius, bro. He's saying get Hunter in to be like the old WoW ads. You could be the Mr. T to WoW. That's crazy. That's a crazy idea.
Oh man,
we'll talk, Hunter. I'll email your agent.
Maybe you can get that. Bro. Maybe you can get the cape skin. I'm just saying.
Hey, did any of y'all watch the House of Dragon?
with the cape skin?
Yeah, House of the Dragon. Yeah,
House of the Dragon. Yeah,
bro. I thought I was in I got locked into a weird dimension of the Matrix because I was playing the elf with the long hair male guy with the long sword, like working on the fucking warlord. And sure enough, when he goes into that, like he flies on his dragon into the thing with the long sword, I was like, how did Dark and Darker enter House of Dragon? It's like the people have to have played Dark and Darker that built this character. I don't know if y'all caught that, but
you're talking about Damon. Yeah.
Yeah, when Damon
he
came
looked
in
like
on
an
his
elf.
dragon with the longsword, it so feels like being a longsword fighter and general and Dark and Darker.
I know exactly what you're talking about. He literally did look like the elf skin, and I thought that.
Or that actor plays that shit or something.
No, but he definitely looked like the skin.
We've been talking for too long.
Yeah, I know. It's been. I know we've been going for a long time, almost 2.5 hours. So why don't we take like 2 more questions and we can call it. I know everyone has like dinner and work to do and stuff to do.
How do you feel about Iron Mace pulling the rug on the new Golden Chest quest?
I don't even know.
Oh yeah.
So for those of you that don't know.
Gems.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, the OG quest was Legendary Gems. Then they changed it so that it was going to be like way easier to get the chest. And then when they did the last round of quests, they reverted it. So you got to get the 4 Legendary Gems again.
You didn't save them? That's on you. Crazy you didn't save them.
Yeah.
People need their gold.
I have never, dude, with all the hours and the demigod grinds and everything, I have yet to find all 4 gems in one wipe. I've gotten 3.
Wow.
Swear to God. It's because fucking end boss, he ends up yoinking them all, dude.
I think last swipe I had 3 full sets, dude.
Yeah, I'll run HR back to back. I go straight to the pedestals and like in Ice Abyss, and I'll get like 3.
A lot of people are saying same. A lot of people are saying same, actually. Wow.
This is the first season. This is the first season I ever got them, and I actually had them. Like before the quest came out, and I was holding on to them, and I thought that wasn't one of the quests. I was like, no fucking way, I got these.
It wasn't originally
out because like I didn't get a treasure trove the whole last season, but I got one this season.
I've never owned a chest because of it. Yeah, I've never pulled one out of a pile.
I've,
either.
I've pulled,
crazy.
I've
I watched
pulled
Ken
two.
do it twice in front of me.
I've pulled two.
Damn.
Yeah, you know what
Have you-
prints those is the high roller gold piles. Just saying.
Yeah, HR gold pile. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, the one on the boss on the
Yeah, after the boss. Yeah.
one.
Yeah, it has to be HR Inferno or Frostwire and gold pile, I guess.
But I'm usually a little too slow at like getting getting a ton of rips off of that pile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you gotta bring. So you're soloing the bosses. You gotta bring a lyre and some util gloves.
Yeah, bring a like an epic or legendary lyre with action speed on it, or interaction speed on it.
Yeah, I know those. That's how I make my money.
Yeah, yeah.
I know the live tech.
They're worth cash, dude. Late game, they make money for sure.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the glove swap is super underrated.
The
You
glove
get,
swap,
free-
actually,
glove
you're
swap
right.
too.
You're right. That's
Yeah.
20% interaction speed almost.
That's a big one. All right,
A lyre plus the
I
gloves
appreciate
is
the
best.
I'm also gonna get my bunny hop for free. I've been noobing it up, man. I've been.
You
trying
got
to-
to. You got to.
Dude, use it while you can. Use it while you
I
can.
got.
Yeah.
All right, let's get one final solid question. Actually, you know what? This is a question that Donnie used to bring up. He'd always ask the
true.
guest, if you were in charge at Iron Mace and could make one or two big decisions about the game, Hunter, what would you
What'd be your
enact?
dream patch?
What's your dream patch? Your SDF for a day? What are you gonna do? How are you changing the game? What are you gonna do?
I mean, right now the quality of life things y'all hit on pretty big. I think I would do something with the doors because I just hate the fact that like certain classes do it just so much quicker. And but I guess there is the fireball from the wizard. So doors would be an issue. Expressmen staying a little bit longer, which you already mentioned. A pick up all because that's so like I love the expressmen. Obviously, get rid of the 3 floors. As far as balance, that's freaking hard. I understand that it's not going to be there always, and there's times that your class is going to be strong, times that your class is going to be weak, and like you know what? Sometimes I'm just going to die a lot, but yeah, if I don't like it, try the other class and find out how hard it is actually to do what they do. So for me, it's those quality of life things. Arenas, I want an MMR system similar to World of Warcraft because I love arenas and I love the carrot of chasing the gear for your arenas that you don't lose. If you get rid of the gear discrepancy, it takes away a lot of like learning about the game, looking at your stats, building your character like D&D. So there's multi dimensions to this game that make it really fun. Keep playing with the balance the way you're doing. There's going to be this, and get that expressman. Give us a little time. Figure out the 3 floors. Let's not have that. Maybe I'd bring those cubes back, and then where you can. You go to this if you are gonna have the 3-floor system. I go to the 2nd floor. Remember when we used to be in the cubes and you'd see the other people?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The whales.
Bring people from different game matches so that Crypts is full of people again. So we can have fights on ruins, drop it off at the expressman, have fights on Crypts with people that went down, have fights on the last floor. Put us in the cubes, baby.
Yeah, I liked the cube. And I actually have one more question for you because it's funny. Stinkman Jones 1 says, Hunter, what gets your blood pumping harder? Bottom of the 9th tied game or getting landmined by a rogue?
I definitely think Dark and Darker has made me angrier. The only thing in baseball that like ultra makes me angry is if an umpire absolutely destroys you. Like if the game was dictated by an umpire really effing you and them also being like, no, I was right. And like we literally have camera evidence, like so. I guess like baseball is, and similar to Dark and Darker. Like if you outplay me, you outplay me. There's rules of the game. I practice, I grow, I work. Like we're gonna win some, we're gonna lose some. If I'm gonna lay it all out there, I'm gonna have bad games. I'm gonna have good games. But like an umpire screwing you is the one thing that would get my blood boiling. Like a Rondell Dagger fighter, just running me down, all right, or landmine rogue. That's no fun if you ask me, but I still queue up again. I don't know why. There's something wrong with me.
Well, you heard it here first. Dark and Darker gets that blood pumping, ladies and gents. Yeah, this game makes me mad too. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I love it.
I love that.
Yeah, I know. Same. This was a great episode. It sucks that it's going to be split in 2. Part 1 always gets way more views than part
just
2.
Make it one video. I'll put you on. Fuck, I can't remember it, but
I'll send you the
I'll put
files.
you on.
I'll send you the files.
Oh god, don't do that.
I don't even have, dude. This is how lame this podcast is, and how bad of a YouTuber I am. First of all, this is just hobby stuff. I'm not a streamer or a YouTuber, but I don't even have editing software at all. All I do is fucking locally record the live stream whenever I begin the podcast, and I hope nothing breaks, and I literally put up the raw file right up on YouTube. That's how I run
I'll send you this thing right now for Adobe.
Okay.
Hopefully it's easy.
All right.
We
right,
don't have
fellas.
to make 2 videos.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
this
go
is,
eat some food and go
yeah.
to bed because I'm old.
yeah, I'm actually gonna eat some food and go to bed
Hunter,
too.
I got you beat, by the way.
You're older
got a
than
couple of-
41?
I got a couple of years on you yet. Yeah,
Oh my god, dude. Well, you're doing it well because I definitely
yeah,
did not-
we
I did
carry it
not
okay,
think
man.
that. Hell yeah, man. But it was an awesome to be on here. Enjoy your sleep, get your nap and your food, and so we stay young playing Dark and Darker.
Absolutely, brother. We just said stay inside, away from the sun. You know, that's how you don't crack.
Maybe.
Well, yeah.
That's the trick.
Hunter will definitely have you on again for a roundtable. You're a great guest.
Appreciate
You're
you, man.
very knowledgeable about the game. And it was a pleasure having you on. OnePeg, always a pleasure having you on. We'll definitely have you on again. Jay, I'll see you Tuesday. We're going to have hopefully Repos and Yami on. We'll see.
Nice.
Jay, where can people find you on the internet machine?
Jay Griffey on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube.
Beautiful. OnePeg?
OnePeg on here, OnePeg on YouTube, and Twitter is OnePegMG.
All
OG
right.
stuff.
Hunter.
I'm Hunter Pence. That's Pence, and it's just my name everywhere. So all the platforms, I got them all.
And if you Google him, it's a lot of sports ball. Just be prepared, nerds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sports.
Yeah.
That's okay, though. We forgive you.
But also a lot of life content because she just pranks me nonstop, and she's great.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. Awesome episode. Sorry, folks, that it had been an entire month, but as I said at the beginning of the episode, I've been traveling. Also, you might have noticed that Spud Hunter is not here. Spud Hunter was a new co-host for about 5 or 6 episodes, but he is taking a step back from Dark and Darker. He's not playing as much. The time zone was fucking with him. The guy sleeps during the day and he streams at night, but he had to wake up at 10:30 in the morning to do the stream, to do the podcast. Wasn't working for him. It's all good. Spuddy will be back on as a guest. He's a great guy and one of the funniest Dark and Darker content creators out there, straight up. So much love to him. But beyond that, have a great rest of your week. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you in the dungeons.
All right, fellas.
Bye.
See you.
Good night, Joe.
Goodbye.
Later, boys.
Peace.